What's up, everybody? Welcome to this more relaxed session of Nerd Nexus Pod.
Yeah, we're gonna try this one out. It's a
Yeah,
little bit more comfortable, a little bit more like we're all sitting here, like you guys are sitting there on the other side of the couches, and we're sitting here, so we're just kind of having a little bit of discourse.
the way this would have done so much better for the just wrestling talk we had last time. You know what I'm saying? This,
Yeah,
like, for the ones where we're not as sciencey, this is better. You know what I'm saying?
I
We'll
agree.
see.
Unfortunately, though, you got a lot of questions to answer, buddy.
Oh, buddy, let's do it. You want to just get cracking? Well, how's your week been, man?
My week's been pretty good. I got a new job.
Yeah,
Start
dubs.
on Monday.
So excited.
Um,
I think it's crazy. You must have studied real hard. You passed the drug test. I
I
heard.
know all the drugs.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so there you go.
So
He's not being a pharmacist, just to clarify.
I am not being a pharmacist. No, social media hasn't taken off yet, so we haven't got rich.
Come
But
on, guys, where are we?
I need a Lamborghini now. No,
I mean, I think we can make that happen.
yeah.
Yeah, man. What
Hot
you want? Hot
Wheels.
Wheels? Or you want Matchbox?
But either way, I'm gonna start a new job next week, next Monday. Well, I guess no. We're
Mm-mm.
recording this a week
Yeah,
prior.
this you have done the job by the time this is up.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, we record 1 week ahead.
I think we have. Oh yeah, we don't have a floater.
No.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Okay, yeah. That's the plan, though, is to have
1 week ahead, and we're gonna try to keep it as I don't want to say current, but as current as possible.
100% current. Yeah.
That way, we're not having to scramble on Saturdays the day before to drop an episode.
Right.
We get to schedule it, and then we have all week to meet up because we don't live together. So
No, yeah, cool. No, that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, I've had a pretty good week. We've been doing good. We started on the Wii U. It's been really fun. I mean, you played it a little bit.
yes, continue.
Oh, cool. No, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I did so much hard work to get this Wii, the original Wii, to look good, and it's just trounced by a built-in HDMI player. You know, like the HDMI
Right.
port is just superior. So I don't know.
Eh,
Apparently it doesn't have full RGB. I haven't noticed. It looks fine. It looks fine to me, but
So what does it just have RG?
I don't quite understand. Like it has like it's a limited HDMI port on the Wii U, which like it was always going to be. It was Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? But essentially, if you play Wii games, you can technically get better colors out of an original Wii. But like, so if I'm gonna do a Wii game, I'm gonna play it on the Wii. Versus like if it's a Wii U game, I'll play it on the Wii U. Reason being, you can play games on the Wii games on the Wii U, but it's like it's you have to go into a menu and a sub menu. It's a whole thing. So I'll just plug in the HDMI cord that is the HDMI. The end of the HDMI cord that's plugged into the Wii U, I'll just plug the Wii one in and be done. Like it's that easy if I want to play a Wii game. And most people, something like 90-something% of people are watching on mobile devices. So
Right.
like for a screen this big, that it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But when it's blown up on ours, it matters.
Right. Speaking of the games that we've been playing,
Yeah.
I started Pokemon this week.
Dude, you've been killing that.
Bro,
You've been keeping us both up till 2 a.m.
I'll be honest. Pokemon, I was like down in the dumps. I was like, there's no shot, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be good. I like Pokemon, but not like that.
Right.
And I started playing Let's Go Eevee.
Right.
It is the funnest game
really
I have ever played.
Really? Ever?
Yes.
That's awesome. I've got a question. I missed the front of the stream. How did the Eevee get the name Arby's?
So Savage Ash.
Yeah. Oh, cool. They're a viewer of mine.
She came in to the stream and said Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what she thought my name was. Or maybe she was making a joke.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
The amount of times that I've typed Arty and it becomes Arby's, what if autocorrect
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But either way, she said Arby's with a bunch of Y's.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Cool.
is that what you're having for dinner? Like, I didn't know. I was like, Arby's is okay. I don't like their roast beef sandwich.
Mm.
I'll be their chicken bacon ranch or no chicken cordon bleu, whatever, whichever sandwich it is.
I know you probably didn't because you probably were at an actual Thanksgiving. But me and Kitty tried their Thanksgiving sandwich that they have for Thanksgiving called the Gobbler.
I was not at Thanksgiving.
Oh, you weren't?
I drove down here on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay, cool. I didn't know what day it was. I can't keep. Most of November is a blur for me, bro. But no, we tried the Gobbler. It was surprisingly good. Didn't mean to make a Arby's ad, but
no, you're good. So I've been playing Pokemon. It's been a blast.
I'm glad you like the Pokeball. I know the joystick is bad because sometimes you go to press it and it'll move slightly,
right,
and do a misinput. But
you want me to make you feel like shit real quick?
Yeah, what's good?
It's 12:03. You know what that means?
We're gonna be here till 2 a.m.
It's 12:03, and the day we're recording this is February 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yes, sir.
Right now?
Right now.
Happy birthday. I don't know my birthday, bro.
Like the 24th, May 24th.
I did tell you that today. So
I also knew it.
Okay, is that why you asked about birthdays earlier?
I thought it was crazy because I thought your birthday was on the 25th because that's what Facebook says.
Yeah, but I got hacked.
Yeah.
And somebody, like, the guy changed my date of birth like 8 times and now I can't.
Right.
Well, happy freaking birthday. Congratulations. Yes, I forgot you're a February baby. That's crazy. No, you'll have to apologize. I'll apologize. I am terrible with dates, names, and everything. Luckily, Kitty is amazing at it. So we'll definitely get your birthday added into rotation here. And we'll get you.
I hope you feel like shit.
I really don't.
You've been my best friend for like 15 years.
I don't know. I know, like, okay, I know my birthday. I know my sister's birthday because it's shared with a holiday. So, like, if your birthday was Thanksgiving, bro, I'd know that shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's not. It's on. It's
well, Thanksgiving's also a moving like thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, I know my sister's birthday because it's, like I said, it's shared with a national holiday, and that might be it.
Genuine. I actually don't.
I just birthday? don't. Huh?
What's Kitty's birthday?
It's in August.
You don't.
I think. See, I'm not going to beat myself up over something I'm bad at. I'm bad at birthdays. I'm bad at dates. Why would I feel bad?
You should feel bad.
I have an automated device that tells me these things. It is Meta Industries failure to not notify. Happy birthday, Devin.
No shit.
Happy birthday. No. But that was crazy. That was crazy.
I was like, that would have been crazy.
No, dude, that's so crazy. I'm sorry if that is, if a birthday is more, I was gonna say, if a birthday is more important to you, I'll make it a deal. But I was gonna say, I don't think we have consumed many libations on your birthday, but I don't think we've ever like partied or done.
We did one time.
What? Oh, I don't remember it for reasons.
No.
Oh,
we went to Athens.
That was cool. That was pretty cool. Libations. What do we mean?
That was the night that I got this tattoo, and they told me they had to stop because I was.
Yeah, he was.
I was leaking.
Yeah, homie was definitely dripping, bro.
Yeah. That was great.
I remember I just got my learners, and you were like, "You got to drive home. You're DD," and I was like, "Okay." And then luckily we had somebody else get in the car who could take us home, so we were set. But it was crazy. I was like, I don't know about this plan, but he drove us there. I was going to drive us back, but we took care of it. That was a crazy evening.
Yeah, I don't think we got home till like 5 in the morning.
That was definitely, I wouldn't say awful, but it was definitely longer than I wanted to be up. You know what I'm saying? I was
okay.
Like,
we had fun.
Yeah, no, it was definitely an adventure. Something I can remember.
I took you to a trap house. That's where I got the
Yeah, I know. And they were trying to hawk their Yu-Gi-Oh on me. you remember this? They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is my guy. We play Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever." He's like, "Oh, you play Yu-Gi-Oh, bro? You got to buy this card, bro. It's so legendary, bro. This ultimate card, bro." And I was like,
It's like a Karibo.
Nah, it was like a 5-headed dragon. So it's like, oh, I'm glad you watched the anime. Unfortunately, this is like 20 cents. I mean, I don't really want it. He's like, blah blah blah. And then like, I was like, I'm good. I appreciate it, because like I actually had card knowledge. I was like, oh, that's a cool card, man. You should keep it. Was really the energy.
Right.
But yeah, no. Yeah, dude, it's Devin's birthday. Like as
birthday, man.
yeah,
Sure.
as of the midnight. Yeah.
How old are we?
17.
Love it. Yeah. 17. Wow, for real? We didn't drink on his earlier birthday many years ago. What are you incriminating me with?
Oh man, I'm 28.
Yeah. Congratulations, bro. You're 28. You're older than me?
Yeah.
Huh.
You thought you were older than me?
I thought I was older than you. Oh well.
Maybe you're 29 this year.
Dude, how funny would it be if I just said, "No, I'm 27, 2 years in a row"? If anyone could pull it off, you know what I'm saying?
I forgot.
You're only
that I
27
was
twice.
27.
You're only 27 twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ever watch Community?
No.
That's a bit in Community. Is that they convinced Troy, his mom, Troy's mom convinced him that everybody goes to like one of the he lost a grade. He's had to repeat the grade. And so they just convinced him, no, you just get 2 birthdays of the same number sometimes. And so essentially he wouldn't look dumber to other kids. So they convinced him like I think it was like his first or second grade, he had to repeat. And they just told him he was 9 again. And he was like, cool. And then like as an adult, he explained it to somebody and then they went, no, that's not how that works.
So he's like 30, but
yeah, but he's like 29 or something. Yeah.
Huh. So I do have a question.
Yeah.
And like,
you brought the laptop out for one question?
No.
Oh, okay.
So like, where do we get electricity from? I made a joke about this on the last podcast.
Where do
it
we
will be coming out tomorrow? But
where do we get it?
Yes. Where's it come from?
So angry molecules is where we get electricity. So if you make molecules and atoms very uncomfy in a position they don't want to be in, they start throwing shit. They start getting mad and flipping tables and stuff. And that table and stuff that they start throwing is electrons.
Okay, but where do we get it from?
Hydroelectric dams, I think, is a really big contributor. I think coal is a big contributor. Like fossil fuels is a big contributor to a lot of our power infrastructure. I think it might be the biggest. Solar is some, and I believe there is a fraction of it that is also nuclear. And nuclear and wind, I think, have a similar fraction.
How come we don't ever run out of it?
Out of electricity? Because we have a good system. It's not a great system. We have a good system in that you I mean, let me not say good. Let me just say we have a system. I guess we'll start there. We have a system that is able to properly route electricity everywhere it needs to go.
How?
We just laid the cable.
Yeah, but like, how does electricity move through?
Are you
cables?
so ready for this? So electricity isn't like, okay, let's say electricity is electrons, right? Okay. So let's say you name an electron Steve at the end of a cord. If you send Steve through a cord, you don't get Steve at the end. Steve bumps an electron off of that atom, which bumps it off the next atom, and da 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 da. And it's like a domino effect. That's how cables work. We are introducing electrons, and these very stable atoms go, oh, and then they restabilize with what we've introduced, and it.
That doesn't seem real.
That's how it works.
I don't think so.
It
doesn't seem real. It just, I get it.
Behold.
I hear you, but like, I think maybe they just fucking.
So the reason why electricity is so fast in a cable
I
is
think the wind does it.
yeah,
There's a lot of friction and creates static electricity.
it does in clouds.
Yeah, right.
So all electricity is just harvested thunder and
Yes.
lightning. Yeah, I'm with you. There was a
By the
movie.
clouds that they make.
Yep. Yeah, which they make clouds. Yeah, I'm with you. What are we even talking about anymore? Why do we have listeners? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this
I
is
just
crazy.
don't. It just doesn't make sense, bro.
No, I get you.
There's
It's
so many houses, and you're telling me those power lines right there, the four of them,
Mhm.
carry enough electricity to power all of the houses on the
So
next
okay.
7
So
blocks.
you're also forgetting amperage and voltage. So it's that is not nothing. That is very gonna kill you if you touch it cold.
I hear you.
Like, I
It's
mean,
gonna kill me. Sure, it doesn't take a lot to kill me. You give me 2 more Twinkies and I'm dead. What I'm saying
so
though is
gotcha.
like, how does that much
I understand.
you
So
have to run out.
you don't though.
You do.
I mean, thermodynamically, yes, there is always we are losing it to heat. We are losing a lot of its energy to heat, like because energy can be neither created nor destroyed. So essentially, we lose a lot of like energy when we do these things in heat. That's
And
why
where does it
electronics.
go?
Where does what the heat go?
The electricity when the electron falls off.
Where of the cable?
Yeah.
Wherever the cable's plugged into. We have a very cool system that catches the electron that goes cool. This is your screen now.
No, but like out there on the power lines,
Where does so the power lines is giving us.
it's just metal.
Yeah, no, I got you. So power lines, from my understanding, I believe the power lines are direct current. They are receiving not so. Let me just start here. Most electronics use what's called alternating current. This is Tesla's way into the future, and boy, say what you will, he's kind of right. There's a bluntness that comes with direct current, which is just alternating current is I send you an electron about the same time you receive that electron, you send another one back, and we bounce back and forth, right? Getting where I'm getting to. Most of those power lines are direct current. That means whatever dam or whatever power facility or whatever nuclear reactor is at the end of it is just dumping electrons into it. Then it hits a transformer. The transformer will turn it into alternating current. The alternating current, then that transformer is what is taking this raw direct energy and is creating a feedback loop amongst the houses. So electricity is less of a fuel source. Like, yes, you utilize electricity, but like it is more flowing through the object and helping it spring to life.
So then how come
Like you use electricity. You don't hear what I'm not saying, but like
there's some in the sky or
like
not their power lines? How come there's power lines and then we bury some of it?
that's so interesting. I think
And how do we not lose energy in the
most
ground?
most of what we bury isn't power. From what I understand, most of what we bury is telephone and cable. We bury power. Okay, interesting. A lot of the power lines I see are those big A-frame machines. Do you know what I'm talking? Like those big metal things with the overreaching arms. You know what I'm talking about? Those giant things.
That's the old way.
Yeah. So now we put it in the ground.
Mm.
I wonder why. Well, those you're still exposed to more elements in the air than you would be in the ground, I guess.
Well, I think they just ran out of space.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. No, someone is definitely going to complain if you put one of those in their front yard. They're not going to complain if you go, hey, it's power, I got to dig in your ground a little bit. Most people aren't going to get mad.
I
That's
just
got to be
don't.
what it is.
I just don't understand how we never run out.
Of electricity, because
Yeah.
we're generating it. We are converting the momentum.
Yeah, but we ran out. We're running out of coal. We talked about this the other day.
Okay, yeah, yeah. We will run out of fossil fuels. Only so many dinosaurs existed. So, we need to get on an alternate power source. Luckily, I think, I don't think we're close. Like, I mean, we may see it in our lifetime, is kind of the argument. But when I'm saying when we were discussing the fossil fuels running out, I just meant that certain places we aren't able to properly access fossil fuels due to litigation for like environment reasons.
Right.
So the thing is like I don't know the answer. 80 years down the line, hypothetically, 80 years down the line, we've used all the fossil fuels, right? And then suddenly, well, we need more fossil fuels. So do those ecological laws matter less? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do we go, well, okay, we said we wouldn't use this oil before, but now we're going to use this oil or this coal? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you mean the surface coal?
Yeah.
Oh, surface coal. Yeah, no, we mine coal now. Surface coal's gone
Where do you mine coal?
in the ground.
Yeah, but like,
So,
okay,
okay,
but like
where does it come from?
where you have your grill and you have coal, or you have
Charcoal.
what's the difference?
So,
It's
charcoal,
charred coal.
okay, so charcoal is like a piece of wood typically that is burnt in an environment that is not like disturbed. Essentially they are burnt in a very particular manner to create these completely burnt but not yet embers fire, and then they are extinguished and kind of locked away, or like sealed up. They'll lock up the whole thing, so it's like they'll light them on fire, each individual piece, and then once a certain, I'm not an exact scientist when it comes to this matter. I've only seen it once, so I'm just trying to regurgitate this. But like they will burn it partially, and then from that is what we're selling. So essentially, they're burning it just enough to get it super easy to start, and super at the point where it was going to burn the hottest, and that's what they're selling. That's all charcoal is a shortcut to fire.
Well, it still doesn't make sense to me how we never run out of fucking. I just don't think it's a fucking.
I mean, the only technically, the wind isn't even like the wind. People say the wind and solar is renewable energy, but like, you know,
What if the
eventually
sun
I
burns
was
out?
gonna say the sun dies. So, are is that gonna mess with your beard or the shirt? You think?
I don't think so.
So clip it the other way, and then just rotate the mic. So yeah, yeah, yep, yep, and then now rotate. Yep, there you go. So you don't like the hats? Okay,
I don't like putting it on my hat. No,
valid. No, that's fair.
I'd rather wear my hat backwards.
Cool. Ash Ketchum, you're playing Pokemon, and here we are. The thing is Devin, when it comes to like physical sciences, there's a lot you have to like know to like understand the world.
Yeah, but like it doesn't make sense. I
I
think
got you.
electricity is magic.
It kind of is. I agree. It's a little bit magic. It At this point, I mean, you've seen Doctor Stone. You know what I'm saying? Tech Magic is just technology we haven't figured out yet.
Right.
So it was like, I'm with you. Electricity is definitely more magical than like a lot of other technology or advancements, mechanical, whatever. I definitely think mechanical engines I get, because it's like I'm spinning this, I'm getting how this will deploy energy, like I understand it, but the electricity is definitely wild. Ben Franklin, Tesla, and Thomas Edison were on some.
So if we go from so you said wind, solar, nuclear, fossil fuels.
Hydroelectric. We are probably getting a higher portion of hydroelectric.
I said
Electric.
that.
I know. What do you say?
I
Water,
said I said
wind, solar, Fossil fuels.
and then water. I had 4 fingers.
Water. Okay. Okay. I didn't see your thumb. My bad. But hydroelectric, we're probably getting more hydroelectric just because we are located closer to a lake.
So, okay. So when do you think we all move to nuclear?
I think that egg is a very good step to that direction.
Do you?
The Enron egg, I believe, was it Enron? Let me not plug the wrong company who's trying to move nuclear power into the home. Um, nuclear power egg. Enron. Yep, it's the Enron egg. I think that's going to do a lot.
So do you think that? Okay. So right now we're taking, let's just say, a jet or a spaceship
Mm-hmm.
or those of plane.
Yeah.
We're taking that and we're turning it into. We're taking fossil fuels, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
using fuel
Mm-hmm.
and burning a lot of it
Mm-hmm.
to fucking go real fast.
Right.
Do you think nuclear makes us go real fast? Faster?
Right now, nothing we have beats the combustion engine as far as torque output. Period.
You don't think nuclear would do?
Yes. I don't think for a jet in particular, the Navy or Air Force would love what comes out the end of the jet and how they have to now expose sailors slash airmen to this. I don't think it's a safe. I don't think we're there yet. Well, I guess if you put the egg in, if the egg's safe, you just put the egg in. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, from what I understand, the egg is turning it into electricity, and right now we are not in. I believe the capability to completely like we still need jet fuel. It's not an electric jet. So
How would
all
that work?
an electric jet
Yeah.
probably it would just be a big drone. Probably
R- right.
because you can't make a jet without fuel. Like like you understand like what it
Well, that's what I'm asking.
the
How do you?
combustion.
Yeah, right, is what pushes you
Yeah,
forward.
exactly.
But at
Propulsion.
that point, you would have to do like
So the thing is that like most nuclear power is just hydroelectric wearing a fancy cloak. It's not actually the radiation that's giving us our energy. It is the radiation that is heating up a rod that we then put in a bath, and then that steam we use steam power. The steam from that intensive bath that is now being forced out in such a way. So all that's pretty much all nuclear power is.
so we're not actually harvesting the radiation and turning it into.
Not at this current point. No, we are not changing it. It's just becoming, one with, it's just getting the water. Yeah, it's just getting in the water, getting the steam out, and everything.
So do you think that we make it to the moment we put it into uh, uh the moment we can figure out how to put nuclear power into a vehicle?
Well, let's talk about this. I want to talk about something. Have you seen those like people who claim to have made a combustion engine with water?
Yeah, the guy died.
All of them die, right? So that's what I'm saying is that like if we can get whatever that technology is and then put the steam part of nuclear power in that, we're cooking.
But at the end of the day, are they just taking the fucking water wheel thing
Yeah,
and
big
putting it
windmill.
into an engine?
Yeah, more or less.
Hmm. You need to put it where we see the percentage of the
Oh,
on camo.
the percentage of the on camo.
Or make sure the
Ba,
phone
ba,
doesn't
ba,
die.
ba, 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 ba.
Sorry guys, I have a bad tendency of looking at the camera and then adjusting everything and then thinking that it
He
looks
he he
terrible.
gets psyched at brother. Please, how many times do I have to do this? Let me not click that. There we go.
So once we put it into a vehicle or something, what do you think it would be more?
It's crazy how much skin is still on the nuclear bones. You know, like we had like a 4 hour discussion, and here we are.
Well, my question is more so: would we be more apt to? What takes us through space? Solar sails, gravity displacement, or nuclear power? I guess is the question that I'm
What
trying to ask.
does it?
What gets us through space?
Inner space or outer space, like our solar system, or out of it?
Well, we cannot travel through our own
I
solar
know. I'm
system.
just saying, like right now, it's just jet fuel. You know, or what is it? The rocket fuel.
Right.
It's still the combustion engine. I don't think that. I don't know if that gets us further. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right.
Oh, do you not think the cord will reach?
No. Well, it will, but well,
That's just
it
more
might.
natural.
Yeah.
Cool. Cheers.
Um. So that once we get into space, which we've kind of talked about this,
I think it'll be. I think it'll be nukes.
you think it'll be what?
Small nuclear explosions that'll propel us forward. Because
So,
space is already completely and totally irradiated. We are not like harming anything by doing that.
so if we get into,
I'm not an expert though, so
I hear you. Is
don't
it
go nuking outer space, guys.
if we, um, do you know how they get rid of nukes?
No,
That's not how they get rid of nukes.
no,
Are you sure?
yeah. There's a nuclear discardment in Arizona. That's just a big hole in the ground.
And like all the countries ever just take their shit there.
I don't know what every other country does, but that's where we do it.
Oh, well, with so if we make it into space with this nuclear stuff,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that the militarization of space is inevitable?
I don't know if that everybody's friends in space treaty we signed in the '60s works.
Okay, then in that case, who owns space?
Um, like I said, that treaty says all of us do. Um, but
But in this hypothetical world where you don't think that,
that holds up. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not wise enough. I mean, whoever gets there first, I guess. If that gets thrown out, then it's just, first come, first serve.
you think so?
Yeah. I mean, if we have like, you know, terraform it yourself kits, you know what I'm saying? Then I think you should point your mic down in the same position, just point it down because it's right now it's like up to your chin. So it's missing a lot.
Like that?
No, no, no. Here, I got you. And clip it the way you had it.
Oh, I see.
But now it's like
I see.
pointing you.
Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah. There you go.
so
I mean, that's my, if I can go to the Dollar General and get a terraform it yourself and just go pick a rock, you know what I'm saying? Then it's, well, that's my rock. This is your rock.
so at the end of the day, should we even be sending people into space anyway?
Right now, I don't think so.
Ever?
And I mean,
Do you think we should even explore the fact that there's other people unless we have evidence that there is?
mm,
Other beings, I guess is the
I think it definitely opens an opportunity to. I think that makes us vulnerable.
going to space or not going to space.
If like you're talking about aliens, right? If aliens are made true, should we avoid space? I don't know. It depends. I mean, do they hate us? I just don't know. The answer is that I think we should try to like if aliens are confirmed, think we should try to keep to ourselves. They haven't been a problem to us this whole time. We need to make sure that we aren't a problem to them.
So if we know that if we observe that there is alien life elsewhere, do we just turn around and act like we didn't see it? If we find a faraway place that has it, that has alien life, and
No.
I mean like sentient, intelligent alien life.
I mean, if we make contact, there's no going back.
No, not contact.
Just observation.
Like say,
Good telescope finds it. Super the
well, I
best
guess if they're
infinite
in,
telescope.
well, okay, let's say define intelligence at this point, but say our little satellite guy that's just beaming through space
Voyager.
goes and takes pictures every couple of years, and we
The
look
inside
down.
of the inside of a jalopy spaceship.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, that it would be crazy,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
say we just happen to um see lights like we do at nighttime from space up
Right.
here or here.
Yeah. No, I hear
Should
you.
we just
We should probably avoid it.
not even look?
Yeah. One, I don't trust humans with anything. As a society, we are very terrible, like handlers, for lack of a better word. We can't treat things well for long. The last thing we need is tensions between us and an alien race being added to the mix.
Because now they have confirmed that there are aliens. That we have, let me rephrase this, that there have been
UFO, right?
UAPs, is what they're calling them
Yeah.
now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why don't
That,
we say UFO anymore?
I don't know. It's like,
As UFO sounds crazy, so now you say UAP?
yeah, basically, if I'm not mistaken, let me look. I don't remember what UAP stands for. Unidentified, wait a minute. Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Oh, because it can just be lights. It doesn't have to be. I see. Okay. Um, I don't know. I think we should try to remain as peaceful and staying in our own business because, like, think about it like this: we've been going a while. We really ain't seen nothing, heard nothing. You know what I'm saying? We should continue staying in our business and staying in our lane. Didn't hear nothing, didn't see nothing, didn't say nothing. Because then, okay, let's say hypothetically, we find this society and they don't know us, right? We find this other alien life. They don't know us. Turns out they're the exiles because they're too warring. You know what I'm saying? Of, another subsect of the Glorbian system or whatever. And they were the ones that really just like killing people. And now we go make contact and it's a bloodbath. And now it's a problem because you just killed peace troopers.
Yeah, I mean, as a world, we're not going to just let
Yeah, the wise move is, "Oh, wow, you haven't pulled up to our block and made problems. Why would we do that to you?"
So basically, there's a gang war.
Yeah. No, yeah, we repping Earth and we just going to chill and that's just what it is.
So then, at that point, do you think there's, if we did make contact, do you think there's a risk of contaminating the other world with whatever diseases and stuff that we have?
Yeah, I'd say just
And
equally backwards.
well, right. Also, like contaminating their mental.
Like, sure. I would love. You ever seen those memes from a few years back where they were like, we time traveled back in time to a Victorian child and showed them this video and their mind melted and it was just like brain rot? Dude, I'd love to just introduce an alien to like Quandale Dingle and like you and give them the brain rot.
Like to introduce aliens to cat videos.
Yeah, dude, get them absolutely like Piano Cat. Bam, 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 bam. Dude, that'd be no. I think, what if they're, dude? This would be so awful. What if their entire race like doesn't have a concept of falsehood, where They are completely incapable of lying,
Right.
and we introduce that to them.
So
You know, like that's something I think about sometimes. Is like, you know, they may have like a utopia figured out, but we, you know, shit it up a little bit.
I definitely think we would fuck it up. You know
I
what I mean?
agree.
Um,
Also, like, there's going to be some weirdo on the internet who wants, you know, its feet pics. So,
I mean, yeah. What is it? Rule whatever.
yeah, 34.
Um, if it exists, there is a
Thing of
which
it. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so do you think if we know there's a chance of contaminating the mental state of other beings
Sure.
and the physical state of other beings,
Hmm.
do you think that it's ethical to colonize other planets if we find
Life there?
yeah,
No, no, God, no. If there's life there, we should completely avoid it. So I think, you
these are
know,
kind of all the same question but
I'm with you, but they're
different
different
angles.
angles. No, I like it. Like think of it like Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? Like if they haven't made the step, there's like a certain classification. I'm not a Star Trek expert. There's like a certain classification that planets have. I'm really not. I promise you, I'm not. I've seen a few episodes. Really, I haven't seen a complete season. Literally, I like Star Trek. I can't watch it for long period. I can't marathon it because it's kind of the same show on repeat.
Oh,
Like I like it. If you like that kind of, I'm autistic, but I'm like, yeah, guys, how many times are we going to be like, we shouldn't talk to this person, but we should talk to this person? I'm going to go talk to them. We shouldn't have talked to them. Like that's kind of the structure. I think the best one that was narratively interesting was Next Generation with like Data. He was a robot. I'm getting sidetracked. But Star Trek, they have this threshold that is essentially like if a society has like achieved this, and this, that is when we can talk to them.
how do they know?
Because they have like amazing computers. Like Star Trek has like this is a dime and it's like a lens, a camera lens the size of a dime, and it can completely analyze the surface of the facing planet down to watching a person go pick their, you know, newspaper out of their lawn. It's because it's like sci-fi and like who gives a fuck. So they observe these planets and wait for them to be ready, and then once they're ready, they contact. So who's to say there isn't something like that that we just aren't ready for? Everyone avoids us because we throw rocks at everything that moves. We're still apes.
It's not yeah, you're not wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Of
uh,
course they're going to avoid us.
so to kind of
Full circle.
bring back the nuclear to the spaceship thing, who's to say if we make it to space through nuclear reactions and that's what propels our spaceship, do you think a nuclear explosion, or at that point multiple, because they probably have to keep at least an extra one on board
Oh, okay.
for fuck ups,
Yeah.
um do you think that an explosion of that magnitude would rip a hole in space and time?
No.
What do you okay, what do you think?
So the reason why the nuclear blasts at like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were so devastating is because one, we have an atmosphere. So the air could burn. Shit could burn. A nuclear explosion in space is very different.
What does it do?
It just kind of orbs. It just makes a ball.
Of
The of the explosion, it kind of just goes poof, and it's just a ball. And so what I'm saying is, so we wouldn't use ones the size of that unless we were trying to propel like a Wally size spaceship. I'm saying we would make, you know, a really tiny one if we're looking for something like our current rocket ships that we have.
right, but I'm saying, you know, 250 years from now, we're on the fucking Elysium.
Yeah, maybe. And
So
nukes maybe even
and
better.
it nukes,
Yeah.
you know, a million times because that's how many fucking
Because
reactors they have.
nah. I it's so hard to mess with. Do you know how hard it is to mess with space time? in reality. It's so well done. I mean, like really, the only thing that I can point to is like black hole. Like that's the one we got. You know, that's like it.
Do you think we could?
Achieve a black hole with nukes? No, maybe. I don't know. I think because like the sun is fusion, most of our nuclear capabilities is fission.
Do you think we could achieve fusion?
If we achieve fusion, it's over. Like if we can get you've heard the phrase cold fusion.
Yeah.
So we can achieve fusion. It's just we don't have anything to hold it. So we're like, here's a container for fusion that we have, and then that container is utterly melted. And you go, crud. Okay. We're gonna make it less reactive, and then now it's blown up. So essentially, all cold fusion is a 2-word phrase for fusion we can contain safely.
We can't do that.
We can't do it. So the thing when we get cold fusion, that's where it goes. That's where we go. If we can get fusion handled, that's actually where it goes.
What? Where?
That's
goes?
where all energy goes. If we can get cold fusion, literally electricity done, solar done, wind done, nuclear, hydroelectric done. If we can get cold fusion, it's over. The thing is I think that's a good reason why we may not get it, because there are currently people who have skin in the game for that, for lack of a better phrase.
Right.
So, who's to say we haven't already and it's just not been told? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, but no, fusion would be huge for us because that would be the new peak of combustion. That would be like a repeatable combustion engine using the same fuel source.
And you'd never run out of fuel.
You would. It just would take a while. That's what like the Terminators were powered off of.
Like the robots?
Mm-hmm. He would like he had like he had fusion cells. He would go and he would go and they were like the size of like a magazine. The reason why in Terminator, sorry to be nerdy, it was like the size of a magazine is because Skynet is a computer and it's efficient. If it's already making fusion magazines for their weapons, may as well,
Fit into the.
yeah. If we're already making this, we may as well use it. And so he would literally it kind of looked like he had two. I mean, they're futuristic. It didn't look like a real gun mag, but it looked like a magazine, and he had two. And he was just like, threw it out the back, and then like it was like nearly depleted, so it made like a big explosion, but it wasn't like didn't level a city or anything. But it was like he's like this is like at whatever like point energy point, and it like made like a huge explosion. Sorry, that was a Terminator sidetrack that we just went through.
Well, speaking of Terminator,
Oh no!
Is time travel even possible?
Whoa!
We were talking about space time, and then you brought up that. So
yeah, we got to go time travel. Is it possible? I mean, theoretically. I mean, what isn't possible?
what do you? Well,
That's where I'm at. Is like
neither one of us are possible.
What is your standard of possibility? Because now I need to start asking that because I'm talking to you.
What is that?
What I mean is like you'll be like, yeah, but how do we know? And you'll do that until I'm like, I don't know. We won't.
Well, because we got to know.
Right. I'm just saying. So let me define my goal first.
Okay.
So what do you mean by possible? Like achievable in our lifetime?
No.
Okay.
Is it achievable in the next 1,000 years?
1,000
on our current course?
I don't know. Do you know how much energy you would need to like start doing that? Well, I've always had a theory that we could like in the same way that, I know slingshots aren't as they are shown in movie, but I know they are still possible. I think if we are trying to achieve like real speed and like maybe possibly time travel, like this is going to sound bad. Time travel is something that has happened and we've recorded it. Do you know about this?
Yeah, that particle
Well, sure.
that did happen.
But I mean like humans have experienced time travel.
Yeah, every day.
Yes, we travel through time, but what I mean is like the astronauts in the USS space station, the International Space Station, ISS, my bad. Not the USS, the ISS. They technically time traveled because they were moving faster, but it was by like a minute degree. So as you move faster, time dilates.
Yeah, the theory of relativity.
Yeah, yep, right. So as they are moving faster, technically they are experiencing a different time. So technically, when we drive in a car, we are experiencing a time dilation to a very minuscule degree, but time dilation. So yes, time travel is possible. I think in the forward direction is the most probable thing that we could control because it's the only one that we could probably understand in a third dimensional brain way. I just don't think we have the perception of reality to achieve backwards time travel personally. But sorry, back to what I was originally saying. I think the movie Lightyear actually had a really good time travel method. They just kind of botched it. The science is bad, but it's a fictional thing about a toy. You know what I'm saying? So, but they slingshot this essentially space DeLorean around the sun, and they gain enough speed, and then they dump this like mystery particle, and then they time travel. I think if we do the same slingshot with a more advanced approach, and we stay out of the event horizon, I think if we do that with a black hole, we could probably start seeing time dilation in a very recordable way.
I mean, like enough that it would be like years.
Possibly. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. I just remember watching that and going, that is like kind of cool. I've always thought about using black holes as a method of time travel. So when I saw that, I was like, I wonder. The thing is like, at the end of the day, it's just getting really fast is how you time travel. Really. So how do we get the fastest, the quickest? And for me, the quickest thing I can think of is spaghettification. So maybe not that close, but maybe a little bit out, hook it around, flip a Yui, gather that momentum, and fling yourself.
Have we ever thrown something into a black hole?
Well, remember, it's not a hole as you would describe. It is called a black hole because it was like a black hole that we couldn't see.
Right, but it is a funnel. Theoretically, this is all theoretics.
So in so you're thinking of a wormhole. You're confusing a black hole with a wormhole. So black holes theoretically are super dense particles. So like think
But how do we that so
how do we know this?
I know
Conjecture.
that's what you were talking about, but how do we know that a black hole just is dense? How do we know it's not a
So
wormhole?
it could be that or it could be mine. And so it's a lot of the times in science when it's completely observational, there can be two answers that solve for all of the things that are occurring. So like we understand what a black hole does, how it warps light around it, and how things kind of disappear into them. And we have observed these things about a black hole. And so what we have is science algebra, for lack of a better term. We have the answer. We need to know what's causing that. That's where theoretical physicists come in. They propose what could, with the science we understand, cause these things. So we are solving for why right now. We know what is happening, but we are literally solving for why is it happening. And until we get like super cool good guy who can just go touch it and tell me if it's a hole or a rock, we'll never know.
Ever? You don't think?
I
What do you think it is?
I think it's super dense material
Why is it black?
because it's so dense that photons can't escape it. It is super. It is above reality levels of dense. It is so dense, reality warps around it. So light can't escape it. That's why it's completely and utterly black.
So then why? What's the event horizon?
The event horizon is the distance where if you approach it, you get spaghettified. If you are in the event horizon, I believe that's what this terminology is. I could be wrong. I could be scrambling my eggs. But the event horizon is like the measured distance that is safe to approach a black hole.
Right, but you also see light around the event horizon.
Likely, yeah, or
Well,
yes,
you do.
yes, you do, because those are the photons that did make it.
So okay, so then you mentioned a wormhole.
So a wormhole, I've theorized, a wormhole could. So, man, whiteboard right here. Whiteboard right here is gonna happen.
Well, yeah.
The way we're gonna get a like invisible holder or something for whiteboard to be right here. But think of reality as like a blanket, and then you like a really like taut blanket. Rather, think of reality as a trampoline, and the fibers that go one direction is space, and the fibers that go the other direction is time. For lack of a just visual demonstration of what's happening, and you stand in the center of the trampoline, everything caves because you are heavy and you are introducing a new environment. So the black hole is doing that with the fabric of reality. So it is literally so much more heavy than everything else around it in such a way that reality deforms. And that's why certain rules that are the rules everywhere else do not matter to a black hole. Because in that cone, in the center of that trampoline, it's the boss.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
where do wormholes fit into this?
So wormholes are, in my opinion, two parallel dimensions where their trampolines, cones, touch at the same point and go through each other and create a tunnel.
Okay. Which means that black holes aren't dense.
In that instance, both black holes stop existing
How so?
because they go through each other, and what is available in the double cone. So think of it like this. Sorry for those watching at home. So that's the V, right, of the cone,
Right.
and then this is the V of the other cone. If it slides up, eventually reality would just be this, the V, the that, and both of the black holes have slid out of both universes.
Right. So but if you have this,
Yeah.
everybody, so if you have this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they just
Unravel.
become this?
I don't know. I'm not. This is above my pay grade. This is a theory. I don't get that far.
Well, I'm saying because one's going to if in your theory,
Sure.
they would have to be the same size, the same weight.
No, you could definitely overshoot. Well,
So if you have think about it like a basketball to a golf ball,
mm-hmm.
and then you push them together with two machines that fucking so where they can't bounce away. Who eats who?
So I understand what the basketball would eat that one. So what you have to remember is in our trampoline metaphor, there is still the cloth beneath. It's strained and it is still, hurting and having a bad time underneath that our trampoline underneath the black hole. But those are what touch. Black holes don't.
So then only at that time could you time travel.
Possibly. And then the thing is that like I am of the mind that time travel isn't what's occurring if you do that. If you're doing that, you are moving to a different dimension. A
Different
very
dimension or a different universe?
I mean, both. I use the term dimension, but that dimension has different universes in it.
I say dimension, but well, because dimension would be 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D.
Oh, my bad. I mean, like this is the dimension where everyone just eats a banana every morning, like that type of thing. I use dimension as like realm, or you say universe, I guess. It's all just terminology. Dimension, you're right. As a scientist, I probably should avoid that because that is a spatial thing. I don't know what to call it, but if you move from, backwards in time,
I
you
don't
know,
think moving backwards in time is possible.
thank you. I agree.
Well,
But I think if
because
you do, if you achieve backwards time travel, what you've actually done is slide back in time into a very similar universe.
I don't think it's possible at all. Because if I think you explained this to me, or maybe I fucking watched a video. I don't remember. But if you think of a set of stairs, right?
Mm.
You have one universe or dimension or
Mm-hmm.
parallel, whatever. All parallels go, all universes go in
The
because
same
they're
flow.
linear.
Yes, correct.
So you have universe one, universe two, and universe three.
I did teach you this, and this is theoretical. We don't know this.
But at this point, you could only go.
You still have to maintain your
You
momentum
you have
forward.
to meet. Yeah. So you have
Exactly.
to go. So you could go from, for lack of better, you would go from point A to point A, but you would go. You
Yeah.
would go forward
Even if
in.
slightly, you would have to move forward.
Right. You would go in universe one, you
Mm-hmm.
would go from 1A to 2A
Mm-hmm.
and move forward, but things would be slightly different.
Right.
And then if you wanted to go again, you would have to go from 2B to 3B
Yeah.
and then
Keep
move,
going down. Yeah.
and things would be slightly different.
Yep.
I don't think I don't think you could then I think you could go back to your timeline, but it would be a
It would be harder.
okay, back to your timeline isn't the correct. I think you could return to your current timeline
Oh,
if you
okay.
just went in this diagram. You would if you just went straight up.
Right. Or as close to as you could. You could just make it a really sharp forward.
Right.
Or like a very acute forward angle. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying? Yeah.
But I don't think that time is circular for lack
I
for
don't agree. I agree it isn't either.
because it because you would have to go in our current timeline, it depending on what you believe in, but we'll just go with the scientific terms for now. But uh, you know, what's the word? Bacteria,
Mhm.
microbacterial, amoeba, whatever the
Yeah, yeah.
fuck, whatever the fuck, dinosaurs,
Mhm.
and then something, 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 mammals, something, 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 something,
Us.
us, something, 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 nukes,
Something,
something, something,
something,
something,
bacteria.
bacteria.
Yeah.
And while I do think that history is doomed to repeat itself,
Mhm.
I don't think that that means that we're doing this so much as we're doing this.
Sure. I agree. I think we are constantly moving forward, just making the same mistakes.
Well, yeah, we're dumb.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So no, I'm completely with you. Another proof. I don't want to say proof. Proof is the wrong word, but something that I look to have formed this opinion that time is also not self-sufficient is that dilation of time wouldn't really. It's a hard sell to me that if we were able to dilate time, that it is completely self-sustaining. Because if we can dilate it, that means, and there's supposed to be an infinite amount of it because it's self sustaining, we shouldn't be able to do that. And because we can definitely strain it and like take more or less away, that means that there is a supply of time. So, for lack of a better phrasing,
What time is? That's another question.
is time infinite?
No. Do you think time is a is just a human-made
Concept.
perceivable concept? Or do you think time is actually a thing, or do you think it's just how us dumb humans decided that sun come up, sun go down, moon come up, moon go down, sun come what?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's column A and column B here. I think there's definitely a lot. We probably have a lot higher importance of time than probably more advanced societies or people with higher dimensional observations.
I mean, you say advanced societies, but I mean, you got to think about it. Like even back in, 5,000 years ago, or how whenever the fucking Mayans and Aztecs were around, and the Egyptians, they were still
Charting.
charting. I mean, think about the Mayan calendar.
Yeah. No. What I mean by this is when I mean an advanced society, I mean specifically one advanced enough to also shift its dimensional perception. And in this, I do mean first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension. Like literally, I just mean I think right now we are in a state of being in third dimensions here that we perceive time as this bigger thing, and if we were fourth dimensional, it would be like how width, length, and depth is to us. Oh, it's a way to measure. But because time affects us in such a way of greater magnitude because we are lesser, that's why we have an importance. I think it is a measurement. I don't think it is necessarily a thing. The thing is like you have to think of reality. When I was doing the mesh and that is me visualizing a graph of physical space over time. That is an XY chart,
Right.
really is what it is. So I say fabric just because that's what people say.
Right.
But God, that's such a hard question. Here's what I will say. I think it's cool that we have made all of these things about time and these rituals and stuff like that. It's kept us moving forward. But this is such a big question. I don't have a big enough brain. I don't have cool enough eyes to tell you. I don't know. Time is crazy, right? Like just completely inconceivable. Like it is something that rules us, ends us, births us.
I
You,
know. I'm
you,
tired of being told I'm late to work. That's all I'm.
yeah, no, dude, absolutely, nah, bro. You just bust out the relativity talk with your boss.
Yeah.
Just start going into
Absolutely.
relative physics, and be like, what is late?
What is space? What is this
Yeah,
space in the time that it's currently in?
no, totally. And then you just like start the way HR starts talking to you, and then you're like, you start doing it to them, and then you win. See, that's the thing. That's the
And
order
about
of
the time you make
operations.
it to the president of the company, you just pull out your tinfoil hat, fucking put it on, and be like, "Yeah, so we're here."
There was this
And I think you're an alien.
there was this joke in high school that I thought was very funny that I made. I don't usually quote a joke this old, but I remember one time I made a joke where I was like, technically speaking, the power that the school has over us technically comes from the government, which means if we make enough of a problem, we can get sent to the Oval Office, technically speaking. Because you've got the teachers, you've got the administration staff, you've got the principal, you've got the school district, you've got the state, then you've got the nation. So I was like, technically speaking, there we if there's we just haven't been bad enough yet to take it all the way up to the top. And I just thought that was funny. Oh, man.
So we have. I guess my question is: so we've kind of theoretically determined that time that traveling to the past isn't possible, but that's everybody's dream, right?
right.
So, do you think there's any ethical implications of changing the past, such as like
Yes. I think oh, go ahead. Such as
so like should we intervene in like I guess the big one that everybody knows is like if you could go back and kill baby Hitler, would you kill baby Hitler?
interesting. Okay. So, the moral implications of time travel in the past to change things now makes it so that people who are with time machines, time machine people. We'll just call them timers, okay? For lack of a better word. This now makes timers a class of citizens that are above mistakes.
Okay.
And I don't think that's fair.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
I mean, you're darn right, but that's how things are now. So, do I think we should be able to travel back in time to undo mistakes? I think small scale, no. And because of that, I also have to say large scale, no. I don't condone, the atrocities committed by many people in the past.
Right.
And now the question becomes, if I have the power to change them, what happens? Because this is also a paradox. If we go back in time to prevent something and then we prevent it, we would never have been motivated to go back in time. Because if that thing never occurred, we can never go, I want to stop this.
So you mean the grandfather paradox? Kind of.
Sort of. This is more like a. Yeah, no, the grandfather paradox, actually, yes.
So time travel would create paradoxes.
Yes.
So what happens if someone goes back in time and accidentally changes the event that prevents their own existence?
Then they aren't. They just aren't. I don't think. Yeah, that you got it.
How do you? But okay, but so then for the people that are out there, explain the grandfather paradox.
So grandfather paradox. Oh,
So okay,
yeah. Go ahead.
So if I, Devin, go back in time, and we'll just call my great grandpa Devin.
Sure.
So if I, Devin, go back and stop Grandpa Devin from shagging Grandma Devin,
I love it. Then you never are created.
Great Grandpa Devin never had Grandpa Devin that had my dad.
Yeah.
Which means that I no longer exist.
Which means you couldn't have gone back to stop
Which
the
means
shagging.
I couldn't go back to stop the shagging.
Right.
Right.
No, I'm with you. So now what was the question? Now that we understand that, I forgot.
Would time travel create paradoxes?
Oh no, people would stop existing, right? Would they stop their own existence? Here's the thing: non-existence is easy, and the universe has shown us that it will always choose the easiest answer. So if you have put the universe in a position where time is now fucked up, and your existence is just less convenient than just going, you don't have existence now,
right?
Then they will choose that.
So then, okay, but then what if you somehow in this paradox end up putting yourself in a superposition?
Sure. Then I think,
because it is theoretically possible for a human to be put into a superposition.
I mean, especially through time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And let me just fucking define superposition for people.
Sure. Yeah.
If I could spell things, because I am dumb.
How you have two keyboards and can't type?
Your mama. What?
No, I'm.
So, oh gosh, can't read blind. The action of placing one thing on or above another, especially so that they can coincide.
So yeah.
So then basically,
a superposition is existence, non-existence.
So well, yeah. So it would be, well, a superposition would be me, Devin, going back in time and shagging Grandma Devin to have had.
Yikes! Real Futurama. There's like a full.
That actually.
The full Futurama. Okay.
Yeah, but right, that would be.
I mean, genetically, it is possible. I guess you don't want to do that to yourself. Don't be your own grandpa, everybody. Let's tune in. Don't do that. You have now introduced genetic problems to yourself.
Would you?
Yes.
I don't know. That's probably not great, but it's fine.
I'm so glad you're having a good time. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
You get to start your birthday off with a great joke.
Thanks. We're gonna get canceled, but it's fine.
I don't know if this is making it. I don't know if this is making
it most definitely is. You can totally disagree and not condone my actions. That's fine.
All right.
I don't care.
You drive home. I post the videos.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. We'll see if it makes the cut.
It should definitely make the cut.
All right, you can plead your case.
Um.
Yep, we're back.
All right. So,
Sorry about that, everybody. Had to use the bathroom.
do you think could time travel alter the future in unpredictable ways?
Got to, right? Has to. Especially past travel. You don't know what's important in the future.
So then, but I guess
You only know what's important now.
right. So I guess my question is: say me and you
Mm-hmm.
exchange our nuclear reactor that's in the closet with a time machine,
Cool.
and we now travel to the future.
Right.
Does the fact that we have a time machine in our closet alter the future? Just for the simple fact that we travel to the future. Obviously, it wouldn't change, if we went 5 minutes, but if we went 5 years, would it change? You already answered that. So the next question would be: would time travelers already be here if it were possible?
Would time travelers be here? Likely. If it were possible, they might be living among us already. Have you seen those people of like supposed time travelers where they have like really funky clothings and people think they're time travelers, but they're likely just weird people?
Yeah,
Do you think those were time travelers or just weird people?
probably.
Probably time travelers.
Probably.
I mean, we did say if we get a time machine, we're going to every major wrestling event.
Absolutely.
If we get a time machine, we're going to Taker Mankind off Hell in a Cell.
Absolutely.
We're going to
Shawn Michaels. We're going to the Montreal Screwjob.
We're going to the Montreal Screwjob. Dude, what if we intervene? What if we go to we're back, technical glitch. What if we go back to the Montreal Screwjob and we go to like a meet Bret Hart event? And then we go, hey, Vince and Cornette are planning to screw you with Shawn, and we give him the heads up. Do you think Bret could do you think Bret could overpower Shawn? I bet so. Bret was huge. This is peak Bret Hart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we're talking like
young Shawn, I know.
Everybody jokes about Perk Angle, but nobody talks about Perk Shawn.
That's so funny. You're right. Homie was definitely on the stuff. The reason why the screw job worked is because they told him it was going to be a different spot. They told him, "Hey, we're going to do he reverses the sharpshooter on you and then you get out of it and blah blah blah." And that was the spot that Vince said he wanted, and he was like, "Fine, I'll do it." So if we just tell him, hey, they're going to try to screw you, they're going to try to do the spot, but they're going to ring the bell like you tapped out. The answer is Bret doesn't go down for the move, and Shawn can't make him. I don't think. Do you think it just becomes a shoot? Probably in the back room.
No, I think Shawn actually kicks him in the face.
Goldberg.
What about Goldberg?
Oh, you don't know? You know why Bret doesn't wrestle anymore? So in WCW, Bret was like swinging, like going ropes, and Goldberg miscalculated and went for a super kick. Really got him, like in a real like I'm running the ropes and didn't come to a stop, and I am also Goldberg at peak physical human form in a momentum of a super kick, and they collided. And you can see the footage. You can see like the light leave Bret Hart's eyes. He just goes like he's on the mat and he goes like it's bad. It is real bad. They had bad blood for a while. I think Bret still has bad blood, but I think Goldberg's like, I said I was sorry. I said I was sorry for years. I paid medical bills. I don't know what you want from me. Is kind of the energy. So sorry, I apologize.
No,
I know
good.
that was not about time travel.
Do you think advanced civilizations could already be manipulating space and time? That goes along with the. Do you think they've already come back? If we have it, do you think they've? You know what I mean?
Yeah, That's why we have footage. That's why we have footage, because Ashton Kutcher and Punk were there.
Right.
Right.
Is the universe deterministic or probabilistic? If time travel were possible, would the future be fixed or could it be changed? Basically.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't know those words.
Is the future determined or is it,
Flexible, like
probable?
malleable. I don't believe in predestination. I don't think everything is determined. No, I think probability also teaches us that certain things will occur. You know what I'm saying, but not with 100% certainty. There are still quantum anomalies that occur that are like 1 in a million, or not even 1 in a bagrillion, like super insanely high number, that something insane happens.
Sure, but if there's time travel, at what point does it become not fixed, not predetermined?
Well, that's what I don't think it is predetermined.
Right.
So, but you're saying, okay, we do it
time-
this way, and then okay, that didn't work. All right, now we're gonna do it this way. I guess. Like, I guess I see what you're saying. So would society resist? I don't know. I bet time travel would be one hell of a people manipulator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have very bought in people on whatever this time traveler is trying to sell. And we'd have a lot of them.
So if that's the case,
Mm-hmm.
then you think that if we were to go back and fix the problems, but then that would create a paradox.
Correct. But that's what the person from the future wants.
To create a paradox?
I guess we haven't analyzed every possibility. I guess theoretically someone in the past could have already invented a time machine and come visit us. I guess. But like, I'm assuming they're from the future and they're trying to manipulate events to alter either they I think if we get backwards time travel, most people don't make a return trip. The amount of people that are like, I'm taking the sports almanac and I'm going to make my millions and reside. That's what I think most time travelers do. Is they're like, okay, like, knowing what I know now, buddy, bro, drop me off in the 1900. Is over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the year 1900?
Yeah, 1900. I could probably not. Let me not do 1900. Put me in. That might have been too far back. Put me back in the. Let's just say 60s. We're just gonna boop. We're gonna move it up because I want to avoid a lot of that. World War I, World War II. I just don't want to be a part of.
What would you do?
Well, one, my stock trades are about to be elite. The way it's like, oh, cool, California company Apple. I know, you get discovered around this time, so I'll be looking out for a small independent company looking for investors. You know what I'm saying? So I invest in that, and then, or stock trades are going to be insane. Even then, another thing I might do is like, I would probably introduce wireless charging early, because wireless charging is simple. It's just we didn't figure it out.
How is it simple?
It's like, okay, it is mechanically simple. It is fundamentally easy to execute. The reason why we didn't do it is because we didn't really feel a need to. The cord, we were just really amazed that this power drill was working. We didn't care that it was corded until we went, oh, does it have to be? And then we made the battery. It's not as good, but the compromise is you don't have to carry the drop cord, and you can just do what you want.
Right.
So the thing is like, that's kind of how technology advances. It is tapped into a power source and then it moves. So the thing is like, if I can introduce like technology that I understand now into like the 60s,
Right.
I expect technology to boom. Also, the amount of things I could patent early, you know what I'm saying? Like fundamental game altering patents. I would be moving different, man. It'd be great.
So do you think that the recent, when I say recent, I mean in the past 30 years, technological advances are that of aliens coming to Earth and we're stealing their shit, or do you think it's time travelers, or do you think it's just us?
I would like to believe that it is just our technology. I don't think we're doing a full Transformers and reverse engineering alien tech. We may be. That might be what's going on.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it though, because like there was a major jump between the Wright brothers and a fucking plane that they were having dogfights in.
Mm. So yes, I think
We,
I don't think we got aliens that early either. I think if we got the U
I know, but I'm
right
saying like we went from
that to that in 100 years we moved far,
yeah,
and then I think personally we've stalled out in the past 30 years. So that's like what 95 to now.
yeah.
What like game altering like our phones are getting thinner, great. Like smartphones, amazing. That's probably smartphones and commercialized access, or like everyone has access to the internet, is probably the only thing in the past 30 years. I mean, I guess that I can say is like a substantial technological contribution versus like, or not contribution. Contribution is the wrong word. Advancement. I don't think we're advancing at the same rate we were because we got all our advancing out early, essentially, for lack of a better term. We started very simple. So all of the advancements was just making these simple things more efficient, better, and doing them in connection to other simple things.
Yeah, but you got to think though, if you look at it, uh, yeah, I'd say 30 years ago, maybe 35, people were carrying around a briefcase that was a cellular phone, which wasn't even really, I don't think it was technically a cellular phone.
It was.
It was.
It was the reason why we have cellular, from what I understand, is because of the battery that it used to came with, the battery cell.
Oh, either way, it was a briefcase. And
Mm.
now we're holding phones that have more computing power than than most servers from 1995.
Yes. Raw power of the technology we carry is better, and it is more efficient and smaller, but the technology is the same. Theoretically, given enough weekends, the vacuum tube computers of ancient or your could do the same calculations. I'm saying we haven't really developed new things. We have just made the older things better, faster, more efficient. That's what I'm saying. It's like in the past 30 years, we were locking in on shit we already had
Well,
instead of making new shit.
okay, so then like for example, uh Elon Musk caught a rocket.
Yeah,
Is that not new?
that is new. You're right. No, that was huge. He did a good job.
He's caught like I want to say like 7 or 8 rockets.
Yep. That is big. That no, you're right. The thing is like, but that's the thought process I was saying is also the thought process he was on. That is something new. That's brand new. That's the first new thing in a while.
Right.
So, I mean, barring like that, that I can't think of something that is like wholly completely new that isn't just a redeployment of technology we had in a more efficient and smaller form factor.
I mean, I mean, what are LED lights?
No, you're right. That was a struggle.
We went from something basically
In
being
glowing
a
hot, yeah,
glowing hot
yeah.
was our light to
Do you
whatever a fucking LED light is.
So yeah, it's confusing. I remember I watched a whole thing on it. Did you know that we had like red and green, but it was like 90% of the development time of trying to get RGB to work was B. Trying to get blue to cooperate with us was hard. The blue wavelength of light is a real jerk sometimes. And so essentially, we were trying to get the reason why is because now look at the screens. They're very tiny, and they can do with those three colors, we can create all of the visual spectrums. That's why we were gunning so hard for blue. But there was like technological limitations because it's also a lot of our visible light. So trying to make something that was that flexible and that unique was really hard. So no, you're right. The LED is good and it is new and that is, a technology. But at the end of the day, it is just a more efficient deployment of light when we could use incandescent bulbs and colored filters.
I mean, sure,
Maybe
but
not
you're
to that
talking.
size.
I
They
mean,
just made it smaller.
I mean, sure, but like you're to me personally, the LED was the same thing as uh Edison. Was it Edison that invented the light bulb?
That's I think disputed now, but I'm with you. The
Yeah,
like
his like assistant or whatever did it or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. I know what I was taught and it was Edison and you were taught the same. So that's what we'll agree on. Here's what I'll say.
Oh,
Like it's interesting and I'm not saying it's bad and I'm not saying, not to find it, inspiring and if a technology captures you, please be captured by it. What I'm saying is that like I mean, I guess if you want to be a real jerk about it, the only unique inventions were the what are they called? The simple machines, like the inclined plane, the screw, which is just an inclined plane rotated, by the way. Like the pulley. Those were like the real inventions if you want to be raw. If you want to be like really edgy, you can say these were the only inventions and everything else has been a deployment of this. You know what I'm saying?
even computers?
In a way,
How so?
um no. No, not computers. I'm sorry. Not computers. Engines. For some reason my brain scrambled these two. Engines would be like it's your belts, those are pulleys. And your inclined plane would be like the gear ratios. You know what I'm saying? That's an inclined plane. That's giant screws essentially, and like a way to distribute torque and force in different ways is what the basic things are. So what I'm saying is, I guess electronics is a really good invention. It just wasn't within the past 30 years.
Computers?
We had like I don't know when was the first like green motherboard. Like that's when I'm like when did like we had nah man we had electronics right like toasters and ovens and stuff.
1946.
46 was what electronics.
Computer?
Yeah, I mean yeah, but those are like vacuums.
Well, the first known computer was the antikytheric mechanism, a mechanical
Oh
device
yeah.
invented between 200 BC and 70 BC. The first mechanical computer designed by a person was the difference engine, created by Charles Babbage in
Oh,
1822.
I know about that one too. The difference engine is cool. But you no. So no, that was long ago.
Hmm.
The thing is I think like I said, the past 30 years has been us perfecting the technology we have. So the thing is like I don't think we have alien technology because we haven't been growing. I think we got what we got all of the like in the diversity that we got, and then now we are on the other side of that bell curve where everything is downsizing and becoming less diverse.
Hmm. So, do you think that people way back had the kind of technology that we have today?
Oh, interesting. You mean like back to the thing you were saying? What is that? The Homo
The
Dryas,
younger Dryas
younger
impact
Dryas
theory?
impact theory? That like
Before that,
uh,
basically, that's what
yeah
knocked everybody out.
yeah I don't know. It
which I don't remember what period that is, but
he said 12,800 years.
the hypothesis suggests a comet or asteroid impact around 12,800 years ago caused rapid cooling. Is there enough evidence to support this claim, or is it speculative?
I think I don't.
Basically, so
eh,
that the impact killed off a lot of people due to the heat that smacked the glaciers and
Yeah.
then flooded everything,
Mhm.
killed a bunch of people. Well, that sounded
Essentially, a lot of our Earth was covered in more ice, and it got hit by a bunch of meteors. That ice melted, and when a lot of ice melts very quickly, it is very forceful. So water can't be compressed the way air can.
right.
So when you have something hit water, that water has to go somewhere. And that's what wipes everyone out. It's just this massive of water, just literally is like taking the
Like a
top layer,
tsunami.
like literally it was whittling Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like just taking that top layer off and
It was like a
restarting.
tsunami 1,000 times
Right.
bigger than any tsunami we've ever
That
seen.
theory,
Tsunamis are fucking crazy,
oh
by the way.
so scary.
I just imagine a wall
Of,
as far as you can see in either
I know it.
direction,
I know it.
100 foot tall. That's fucking insane,
Scary.
bro.
People are like,
Imagine surfing on
do
it,
you remember
hitting a
the early
building.
TikTok? Whoa. That's the only one who lives. No, no,
Does he though?
you
He
know,
fucking
yeah, no,
smacks the shit
against
out.
a tree or something. Nah, there was a TikTok trend early in TikTok where people were debating whether or not they could just get into like, oh, what was it to survive a tsunami?
The little ball.
No, they were like, it was some regular mundane object, and they were like, but it's sealed, so the water wouldn't get me.
Yeah,
And I
but you
was
run out of oxygen.
not only this, but they were like, okay, I go in with oxygen tanks. Right. This was the discourse. It was, I believe it was a helicopter. I believe it was a helicopter. And the answer wasn't, oh, I am in the helicopter and I fly away. I think it was a helicopter and I like, just stay there, but it's sealed, so I'm in a helicopter. And I was like, you just don't understand the force that a tsunami has. Your helicopter is completely flattened against whatever it was sitting upon when tsunami occurs, or is pushed and crushed against the nearest wall, which may give into the next wall. Like that's a tsunami. I just think people think of tsunami as just like, oh, it's a everything's gonna get real wet. They think of it as just a tall flood, when in reality is a giant smack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted to clarify here. I think another one I saw was like people think, oh, I'll just get into like a sub or like a boat. Like, oh, there's like this display, this boat at the harbor that's like a, ex-war boat. I'll just get into this. No. Do not
Yeah,
do not do that.
even aircraft carriers are this big
Toast. Yeah.
to a tsunami.
It's literally like if I know tsunami's coming, I'm praying and just making do.
You know that in where is it, Japan, that they have all the tsunamis?
Yeah,
A lot of them.
typically because they're very ocean front. Yeah.
They've created like little balls, like the size of this room.
Like a hamster ball?
Yeah, they're like this,
Hmm.
and you just get technically, theoretically, you just get in it,
Interesting. I've
and
seen.
it's cushioned and shit, so
I
that
think that's so cool. They're
and it
so inventive.
seals and it fucking. I don't know how air works. I'm not the scientist
Yeah.
that invented it, but
Right. I've seen something similar, not in this, but in like, or they have an earthquake machine that I think is cool, and it's your bed. So what happens is your bed is laid out, and then earthquake is detected, and then it will fold you in and
that's
drop
not.
you into a chamber.
That doesn't seem very safe.
It doesn't have to. Most earthquakes don't last super long.
Yeah,
So,
but what? Yes, but what an earthquake is if when the tectonic plates do this
or drag
or
or
drag
snag.
across each
Yeah,
other, it most of them though are where it goes
up.
up and over.
Right.
So like what happens? But earthquakes can also cause cracks. So what happens if you're along that fracture
and you're
and
in your
you just
bed, yeah, you're done. I mean, it's not. There's no perfect thing, but like for someone who's on the ground floor, who like they also have like a version of this that they propose to be automated. So like if you're sleeping, an earthquake happens and it's like going to be a real bad one, they'll just
and this chamber is what, like metal lined
yep. It's like the bed frame is metal
so that it doesn't fucking you don't get pierced by
or
anything.
caved. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so what happens when you're in this box, sealed up, stuffed in a bed,
Sure.
and buried under a
I don't know. I mean, you
massive
die,
building?
I guess. You know, but like from what I don't know. I just think it's what happens with in your sphere when the tsunami has a comically large needle. So, and then it just no,
Well, I mean, so I hear you,
yeah,
but you are more likely. It is. Let me rephrase it. It is less likely that a large light pole pierces your ball
yeah, yeah, yeah,
when your ball floats
yeah.
than a building collapsing on you during an earthquake.
No, definitely. I mean, this isn't going to be for like those giant superstructures and tall towers and stuff. This is for like for them, it's like for Farmer Jim who needs a safe space to hide during the earthquake. That's going to be 10 seconds, and he needs to make sure that he doesn't get a vase on his head.
Hmm.
You know, that's what I'm saying. This isn't for like every situation in an earthquake. It is just a solution to some, which I think is cool. Also, I think it was just like a 3D animation. I don't even know if this ever got applied.
Oh,
So I don't know, but this was like this is something we're doing and we're a company, and I was like, that's cool.
so to get back to what we were saying, did the do you think that people from before
Ooh, right.
12,800 years ago,
Mhm.
when this all happened, do you think there was civilization as we know it, and that people,
Messed it up.
well, and then these meteors came and struck the ground
Oh man, yeah.
and
Wiped it off.
wiped it off, and what we have now is descendants of what was left? Because there's evidence. Have you heard of that the Bibony Road?
No,
You've never heard of? Oh my gosh,
never even heard of Bibony Road.
it's crazy. Bibony Bimini Road.
Bimini Road. Okay, definitely have it.
It is a road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they call it a road. It is it's a structure underwater that goes very far, and the rocks are cut and square and look and fit
Mm.
just so in a line straight out into the middle of the ocean.
Huh. And this is in Florida.
I don't know.
This is Miami. Oh wow, this is insane.
Now there's people that discount it,
These
but
these
the
stones are
stones,
huge.
yes, they're like, hold on,
Like there's this person swimming next to it. They're
yeah,
dwarfed by these stones.
yeah. You've never heard of this,
Never,
bro? I have to
bro.
put you on.
What?
You need to watch Ancient Apocalypse
Valid, bro.
on Netflix.
So like you're proposing that like whatever this I it's obvious whatever this was got flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so along with we've talked about it a couple times on this podcast, along with um Gobekli Tepe and the younger dry ass whatever, and then Graham this show that Graham Hancock goes and does all of this.
He has a show?
Yeah, Ancient Apocalypse
Whoa, that's tight. No, I didn't know he had a show.
and the books.
I just thought he was like a scientist. I didn't know he was like
No, he's a journalist.
whoa, he's not even a scientist. That
Correct.
other guy was the scientist. He was a geologist.
Yes.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Graham Hancock is a journalist that basically went and was doing these things, trying to write a book called Fingerprints of the Gods,
Right.
and he was like going around and looking at these things, and then he got all of this information and then took it to scientists, and he said they were like, no, that's not possible.
Oh, okay.
And so he's been arguing back and forth with scientists because they're like, no, they were hunter gatherers. And he's like, hunter gatherers don't make roads.
Yeah, I agree. They really don't.
And they're like, well, that's natural. And he's like, yeah,
The
but stones like
the
this
the
don't
pillars.
happen. What?
They think the pillars that I saw.
Those Bimini Road?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
think those are natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
That it's like, I don't remember what it is, but
Such as the science community. Whenever someone has like a really revolutionary thought or idea, the science community goes, "This actually conflicts with what we think, which makes you stupid."
well, they also think so. Like, if I'm not mistaken, and if you guys
No
know
better. Let
something,
us know.
let us know. But from what I know, like they think that Gobekli Tepe was just hunter gatherers, but it's. Did
Now,
I show you a
no,
picture of it?
am I dumb? But by the definition of hunter gatherers, can't you also not be a city? The second you are civilized, you aren't. You are no longer hunter gatherers, right?
No.
Just definitionally, you can be in like a society and be hunter gatherers. I didn't know that.
So hold on.
See,
This
classification of ancient people is definitely a weakness of mine. There's a term for this. I can't remember. You remember See Bones?
the show?
Yeah.
Never watched it.
This is the science that she did.
That is Gobekli Tepe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they say that this hunter gatherers made this.
So, what purpose do they say that this served as for hunter gatherers? They can't answer it either.
As far as I know.
So, okay. So then,
Have you heard of the underground people?
like the people who live under Paris?
No.
Okay, I've heard about those.
Like, is that more recent?
I think the catacombs are old. I don't know how old.
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
but no.
okay, and you know what I'm talking about? Those underground people,
Yeah.
or that live under the underground of Paris.
Um
Do you mean like mole people?
no. I don't remember where this is, but where the Cappadocia, Eastern Turkey,
Mm-hmm.
there's catacombs.
Whoa.
They're massive. They're massive. Dude, we're gonna do
We got a marathon this show.
we're gonna do a deep dive.
Cool. Let's do it.
But basically, so my question goes back to this is like on those stone pillars that you saw at Gobekli Tepe, one of the crazy things is they have two in their main chamber, two stones with like another stone. You have vertical stone and horizontal stone laid like this and have been like that for years, many thousands of years. And there's two of them in the center of this circle.
That's crazy. So I understand.
So my question goes back to: do you think prior to this, a million years ago, there was? Because who's to say that the flood that we talk about
Biblically.
that, and who's to say that's the only one? Who's to say that we a bigger meteor, the one that made the moon,
Sure.
theoretically, maybe
In theory.
um didn't hit the earth and killed off 99% of civilization, and that 1% is what repopulated the earth over, this happens over and over again.
Gotcha. Specifically for the moon, unfortunately, it comes down to dating. So if our current dating is correct, the moon would predate most life
That we know
Earth.
of.
Yeah.
That we know of.
I mean, that's correct. And also given that the dating's correct. But like, so barring the moon thing, this other impact, I actually really like this young Dryas, younger.
Younger Dryas.
Why is it called that? I have to read this book. I have to read this
Fingerprints
Fingerprints
of
of
the
the
God.
Gods. I have to read this because no, this is super intriguing to me because I don't know, it is interesting. Something I just thought of that's kind of crazy. You remember how I was talking about how we wouldn't make it out of the Industrial Revolution because we don't have surface coal?
Right.
You think there's a chance that blasts created a lot of surface coal?
Right.
Huh.
I'm just saying. So everybody, and the big argument is like, sorry, the biggest argument that scientists have, from my knowledge, is that we would see evidence. If they had technology like we have, they would see evidence, even if it was millions of years ago.
I think we have the evidence.
What?
I mean, look at the road.
That's up for debate with most people. But the
Okay.
question is like, do you think they had technology like we did 2 to 5 million years ago?
I don't think they had like, TikTok and YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah,
And
but
I
how do
don't
you
think
know?
I
And
don't.
I understand that's always the
Mm.
question, is how do you know? But and I understand you're going to say, well, satellites. They didn't have satellites, so blah blah blah. But I'm not saying that maybe they didn't have internet.
I think the answer is still metal refinement.
How so?
We we have the answer is metal refinement simply because in order to achieve the technologies we have gotten really good at metal.
Who's to say they didn't? You're telling me that if I take this MacBook
I'm
and
still stupid. I'm still so stupid.
I
You mean pre-impact?
right.
We don't.
So I'm saying I take this and bury it
Yeah.
and we fuck off
Yeah.
for 5 million years. Is it still a MacBook because it's metal? No.
Right.
It's deteriorated.
You're right. It's gone.
It is dirt.
It's gone. It is completely gone.
It is not even.
Yeah. No, my bad. I forget that we're talking about not ancients. We're talking about like super ancients, like prehistory.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Shit. I don't know, dog. It's
So
crazy.
that's
Is that?
the.
Is that? I mean,
Hold on. I'll tell you, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's
Mhm.
talking about like humans going back, like hundreds of thousands of years.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah.
Is that why we're so much more evolved than the other people around us?
What?
Because we've just been up so long. Like civilization, we've been doing civilizations on repeat. That's why we're above like evolutionarily a lot of animals.
Well, that's another question.
That's what I'm saying.
Um, Pose that advanced with spiritual technology existed
Whoa.
during the last ice age until it was destroyed following comet impacts.
I didn't even think about like spiritual technology. You mean like, oh my god, you ever see that movie Atlantis?
The animated movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how they had like that awesome technology? And they had like dynamite. It was like crazy. They had like modern tech and they went to this Atlantis and they were all powered by rocks that you like poured your heart into. And that's what they beat them with.
Say that again?
Like, okay, we went to Atlantis and we were like, "Hey, it's time for you to give us the resources," essentially. Because
Mhm.
like, spoiler for everyone who hasn't seen Atlantis, the animated movie, it was the real ploy was to try to get the resources of Atlantis.
Right.
Okay. So they went, hand it over. And then they went, we have like ships and things as you do, but they are really just a rock that we put our crystal into that is powered from our hearts. So what I'm saying is like, is that what he means by spiritual technology?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is like, am I to believe it's like actually like pseudo tech, or was it like we were so much better with our spirits we could do things?
They say that his explanations, or that his ideas, are considered pseudoscientific.
Interesting.
Um
I think pseudoscience is fun.
but the oldest human evidences are fossils found at Jebel Irhoud, Morocco, dated about 360,000 years old. anatomically modern human remains of 8 individuals dated 300,000 years old, making them the oldest known remains categorized as modern.
What? And they weren't like Homo habilis or Homo. They were like us.
I,
Shiesties.
I'm just
How do
reading
you
what
explain
Google.
cavemen?
What do you mean?
Like, did they not get to participate in the society? They were reset like everybody else. Did were we not already unified like we are now? You don't see, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Homo sapiens all mingling. We're all Homo sapien. I'm saying like before the big knock, could there not have been like multiple civilizations of these different types of humans?
So like there was different sex per se,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sex,
sects,
but see,
sects.
yeah.
Yes, sects,
So like you had
sections.
Neanderthals, and then you had
Right. Could they all be the reason why we have them is because they were also reset like us? But here's the thing. I know the reason why they're not around now, and that is because we were better at hunting, more agile, and could think better.
right.
So the question I have is like, could we have had a peaceful existence and we were the thinkers for this society that helped everyone, and then the big wipe happens, and then suddenly, 12,000's not long enough to be a caveman, but like one of these wipes, not the younger Dryas, but like one of these wipes that we've been talking about sets us all as adversaries. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. That was really the end of my thought process. Is like, wouldn't that be fun? A world where we helped these people who just literally biologically may not have been able to think as clear as us, and we all had this peaceful existence, and then like one rock is thrown, to quote Ultron, um, then all of a sudden, boom, it is survival of the fittest, and just like that, we dominate them.
Well, yeah. So no.
No,
Let me
okay,
rephrase this. I don't think that we dominated them.
okay,
I think we evolved them out.
that's what I mean too.
As in, you can 23 and me your way back to
To some
a
Neanderthal.
Neanderthal.
Yeah, as I say, I believe that everybody's kind of got a little bit of that in them, or maybe or Homo erectus or whatever, right? But
Um. So
do you understand? I get you. Do you think we came from them, or I think that
yes.
since we coexisted, I think since we coexisted, there's it's like the question of like, how could we have evolved from monkeys if monkeys still exist? But the fact that like we have seen we have like, I don't want to say evidence, but I am led to believe from what I've intaken from my schooling that they were around at the same time. So,
So my question's always been: all mammals have different species.
yep,
Why don't we? And sure, you could say, could possibly the argument could be made that the different um I wouldn't
I,
even say that,
I
like different races and
I don't
ethnicities and
think
whatever.
so either.
I don't think that would
I think the
classify as a
closest
different
species.
species.
The thing is I don't think we're different enough.
Right.
But I think if there was one thing that may do it, if I could propose a thing that may be our species line, I think it would be skull shape. Literally,
Elaborate.
literally just like cranial capacity. Literally just like how your skull is structured. I guess I may be compensating because I got a big ass head. But what I'm saying is like there are different types of skull shapes that humans tend to have. And I'm not a skull expert, but they can be like, this is a type of skull, this is a type of skull, this is a type of skull. And they can be very different, but it's the same structure. So it's like, I don't know if it's different enough, but I know that like it's one of the most varying pieces of humans. And
Yeah, but
so
would you classify that as a different species?
that's where I'm at. Is like
Because we're all the same.
right. I just don't think so. The thing is like I'm sure there's a scientist out there who could be like, well, if this beetle and this beetle are different, and the only difference is this one has a yellow dot, you know. But
I
it's
just,
like I'm sure there's someone who could be an asshole about it.
I mean, I don't. To personally, I think that the argument is, no, I don't think that's an. I mean,
I don't think. I think.
I
Well,
think the only argument could be,
are we dumb? Maybe we did have different species. Maybe that's what the Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and Homo sapien are.
right, but why don't we have them now?
We
Why
got them.
haven't the rest of the why do we have different species of dogs? Why do we have different species
I think the answer.
cats?
I think the real answer is that like labels divide us, right? And so people aren't willing to do that. I think that's really the answer.
Yeah, but
But I think,
you look at a cheetah
yeah,
versus a lion.
mm-hmm,
They are the same thing but different.
sure.
They're both cat. They're both feline.
So the kingdom is animal. Then it's kingdom phylum, which would be classifications of animals is so complicated. I just think right now, I think one, our gut feeling is correct. There just isn't a big enough difference.
Right.
You know, that really is just the lock hard truth. We are one people. You know,
Right.
we are one species. We are one.
And my question is why?
Why is that the case? I mean, I think it's because why? Why indeed?
Because sure, you could say that, you know, we basically dominated the other species, but it's like it's like rats. There's probably not a million. There's probably thousands of different species of rats in New
But
York
but
City.
we just still go, yeah, as a rat.
Right. Well, that has what you call it has nothing to do with it. But I'm saying, like, there's different species of rats.
Okay.
Why that and none of them got evolved out, even when there was
I
a dominant
mhm.
number of this certain.
I think it is the combination of our thinking brain and we will throw a rock at something new that we were talking about earlier that has led us to this. That
Yeah,
we cannot coexist in an ecosystem where there is someone like us. The ecosystem, we literally take so much resources. We take so much, we are ultimate predator. We are, you know what I'm saying? We are dominating the ecosystem in a way that we give no room for anything else like us. That's why I don't think there's another species of people, is because we have made the efficiency of biologically being dominant. And we have held that for so long that nothing is given the opportunity to evolve to come at us.
yeah, but so, like, you've had what's like the smartest animal?
That I can think of neurologically would I think a dolphin or a crow, one of the two. So we'll just say
A
dolphin.
crow?
Crows are smart. Crows I believe can be like are like equivalent of like a 3-year-old child. Isn't that crazy?
What
3
the
or
hell?
4.
You
Yeah,
could
dude.
teach a crow to read?
Not only read, bro. Let me tell you about this guy in New York, bro. So this guy in New York one day, he starts realizing like he keeps reading up on crows and they're super smart and he's like, "Okay." So he makes a system where like literally a vending machine, very similar to a vending machine, where the crow would bring something to this machine and depending on what it is, it would get food. And he started with one crow. And he was like, I'm going to teach this crow how to use this machine with full efficiency. And essentially, I don't know what the machine is, but I have a description of it, so that's what I'll give you. There was a section where you could put cash, and there was a section where you could put every coin. And cash would get you the most of the food, and the coins, depending on which coin, would get you the least. And so they had to teach the crow that like not all shiny things are coins. Not everything that is shiny that goes into this hole will get you food. So like there's the bottle cap on the table, and it picks up the bottle cap, tries the bottle cap, no food. Does that enough times? Cool. I know it's the coin. And then it lets this crow out. And that crow starts going and looking because in its mind, its food source is dependent on finding these objects. And it goes out to New York and it searches the gutters that no one gets to. And it goes into the alleyways that no one goes into. And it starts finding money. I say this one crow, but like, I jumped ahead. He starts to find it. The issue is crows are social. So this crow's like, oh, you guys have to hunt for your food? That couldn't be me.
Right.
And then the other crows are like, the fuck you mean? And so all the other crows go watch him, and they're watching him. And then the next crow gets their bottle cap, and they try, and they don't get the money, or they don't get the food. So they start to learn, okay, well, it's only certain things. Let me try to observe better as to what this other crow's doing. Okay, I've seen that. That's a nickel. We know it is a nickel, but okay, I've seen that before. I can go get one of those. And just like that, like I believe it was in under a span of a year, this guy made so much money on like literal crows just bringing him money that it got to the point where like if there was someone out like holding money, crow would snatch it and bring it up. And that's why he got in trouble, is because like he accidentally made a theft ring. He was intending it to just be like abandoned money is essentially the goal, is to collect abandoned money through crows. But the crows started low-key just jacking people.
And he actually got in trouble for that?
Yeah, he did.
That's crazy.
No, it's super smart.
But I'm saying, like, do you think he should have got arrested for that?
Oh, I don't think he got arrested. I believe it was like a fine.
Do you think do you think he should have got in trouble for that?
Exploitation of those.
Choose carefully.
Yeah. Exploitation of others who cannot like legally defend themselves or legally understand the distinct difference of wrong or right makes you the perpetrator legally. So like, if I have a friend who's mentally disabled who really doesn't have a grasp on like what's good and what's bad, and I go, hey man, it would be really, really funny if you go grab that officer's gun. It would be so funny if you go do that. And then he goes and does that, I'm getting charged.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is legally, the crow cannot make this decision. So this unfortunately passes the buck to him. So yes, I think he does get charged.
So because something that he unintentionally made that became bigger and out of his control,
I understand.
He can't.
What a guy can't have pets anymore? A guy can't have crows anymore?
No, I'm just saying. So then he now gets in trouble due to something that is no longer in his control because he invented this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there are many times. I think
that's crazy.
We
had a whole conversation about this 2 days ago.
I was literally just about to say, the way we keep going back in circles, there is a difference between guilt and fault. Okay, I don't think he's at fault for trying this. I think he's guilty of the theft that the bird did.
Yeah, but it's not. How is it? No,
that's theft.
No.
Yes.
No, it's
stealing
not.
Is theft.
He's not stealing.
What is the bird doing? Taking
Finding
without
things.
Permission.
They found it.
You just happen to be holding on to it. It's not your problem.
It's not
the crow's problem.
For sure.
Look, I'm saying, you'd be one hell of a lawyer. I'd love to watch you really bring this case to trial. I don't think it goes anywhere. I think they go, okay, but the action is what is being disputed here, not the perception of it.
Hear you.
Yeah.
However,
Oh, this is bad for my argument.
if he teaches, okay, so we'll put this in the guise of these crows. We'll switch them out for 3 or 4-year-old children.
Okay, yeah.
This sounds really bad.
No. Please continue because it's great for my argument. Please.
Okay.
Okay.
So he says, hey, you bring me a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a dollar bill.
Mm-hmm.
That depends on how much food you can get.
Yeah.
And
I'm charging the parent with a crime.
hold on.
Okay.
And that's all they say.
Sure.
And they don't, they can't understand that you're not supposed to take it from someone else.
Sure.
And then they do.
Yes, you are the fault.
How so?
I mean, I guess this is a little bit of the like guns don't kill people, people kill people argument that I'm making, which is that like in this instance, the crows are a conveyance. You wanted to acquire money, true. You taught the crow to acquire money, true. You did not put the proper safeguards in to prevent the crow from committing a crime, true. By not properly preventing this, the action has occurred. That would be a crime. True.
How? At the end of the day, you fuck the kids. Wait a minute. Pause. You take the kids out of the equation.
Right.
You can't control a crow.
Yes. But if you don't introduce it to the concept of money, it doesn't steal it.
Still wild animals.
Okay. So if I train a tiger to maul you, or I'm so sorry, let me not do this. If I train a tiger to attack a pillow with a black shirt on it, and if it attacks any other pillow, I get mad at it. Train it to only do this one. And then you happen to be wearing a black shirt and get mauled, that's not my problem. We disagree. That can't be a real thing that you think is logical. You agree?
Yes.
You have the
How is it your fault that the tiger could not tell the difference between another human being and a pillow? Dead ass.
No shot. I'm struck. No way.
Yes.
Because you taught it to do it.
I didn't teach it to attack humans. I taught it to attack a pillow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess you're right. My metaphor might have been bad, but
if I didn't teach the bird to steal,
so essentially,
then I didn't teach the bird to steal. Therefore, I am not at fault nor guilty.
Okay. So legally speaking, from what I understand,
now should the FBI be able to come in and search your vending machine? That's a whole nother.
Now we're back. But no, from what I understand, legally speaking, if something cannot think for itself, it is a tool.
Sure.
So you have used the lion or tiger in this metaphor as a tool, and that tool is uncontrollable. So if I go outside and I have a nail gun and I'm hitting it because it's malfunctioning, bang! Old Jimmy's dead. I'm getting charged with manslaughter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
You are actively
using a tool in an unsafe way.
Using a tool in a way that it was not meant for. You're beating it. You don't beat a nail gun.
Okay.
Who's to say you don't teach a crow to go get money? You teach a dog to sit. You teach a dog to piss outside.
Okay, so now this is an interesting point. Because let's dog sitting. is an interesting one. I teach a dog to sit. It sits on a landmine and destroys, like it, kills people. Am I to be charged?
No.
Let me look up this crow story. What if this is all just for make believe?
It might be, but the point still stands.
Yeah, I want to know. What if he didn't get charged? What if I'm wrong? That's what I'm saying. Man teaches crow to collect money. No, he definitely did.
What did he get charged? Did he have to pay a fine, or did he go to jail?
Did he get charged? Charged.
It's crazy.
Oh no.
He didn't get in trouble?
Okay, gotcha. Okay, here it is. Wow. Okay, so this is on r/legal advice. Could I be charged with a crime if I trained an army of crows to bring me dollar bills for a reward? What would happen if I trained an army of crows to bring me dollar bills for a reward? Like every time a crow brought me a dollar bill, I gave them some birdseed. Could I be charged with theft, assuming they took the money from someone's purse or out of their hands? I'm no expert on bird law. Thank you. Wasn't there someone who made a coin operated bird feeder that he taught crows how to use? They might charge you with something, but whether or not they could convict you might be something else. I don't see how if you don't know where the crow got the dollar, how you are negligible. You might have been fucking right. Huh. You don't so it's just don't ask, don't tell with crows.
You can't ask, and they can't tell.
Yes, yes, I know. I'm just saying you go, yes, the mystery machine that fills itself with money is full again. Is this, you know what I'm saying? If you play dumb, I didn't train the crows.
So I'm saying, so in the instance where they go, the cops come and somehow they track this crow that comes to the top of your fucking building, and they're like, hey, your crow's stealing money.
What evidence do they have? No, you're right. The thing is like, no, you're totally right. The conviction, I didn't think about conviction. I'm saying you can be charged. You're saying, so that man, he didn't get fined. That guy who did it, I don't know if he's still operating, but no, I looked it up. He didn't get charged. So that's my bad. He may have, so if someone were to do this, they may be charged. I think you're completely right that they don't get convicted. I think they walk off.
Listen, chat. There's an imaginary whiteboard of arguments, and I've won all of them.
What? What do you
Go
mean?
Back to recent episodes. I've won every argument.
For real?
I have convinced you.
Every time?
Every time.
I mean, hey, that's an achievement.
Now, whether it's you are conceding because you are tired of talking about the topic.
No.
Or if you're conceding.
I mean, like, look at the time. I don't think so.
Well, oh, God. We've been talking about crows for 30 minutes.
Nice.
I don't know, man.
You're up, bro. The thing is like, okay, so here's the difference. You're like, I won. And I'm like, Devin gave me better perspective. And that's the difference, is that I didn't have this perspective until now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have brought forth I had information. I could only use my perspective. So by you bringing forth your perspective, that is what's changed it, is that now that I have two perspectives, I can weigh them against each other. And it's not that, mine aren't valid. I have valid points. It's just that, like,
mine are better.
You also are asking the questions. So if you ask the questions and then I go, well, this, it's like, okay, you're like, I'm winning at the paths I'm deciding.
Go ahead and look on there and see if there's anything about crows, because there's not.
He also gave me a keyboard, chat. Wow. Why would you lie to me like this? Holy cow. Crows. I typed crows to win an argument. You see this? He gave me free reign to make him an idiot. There you go. Bing. Put one on the board. Fuck.
So
I think I don't know if you. The thing is like you think it's a win when in reality we don't know. I think okay. The only win I'd say I give you, I concede John Cena at Nexus. You got me. You got me. You got me.
Oh, I flipped your whole world
Yeah,
upside
no,
down.
you actually got my ass. No. You were like, Cody, you messed up. You said we're making the kayfabe argument. It's over. The way that you said, wait, in kayfabe, I should have known. I should have known it was over. I should have known the writings were on the wall. I should have backed out. But it's okay. I went deep. I was like, nah.
We can definitely fucking forget about any of these questions and go for our. We can talk wrestling if you want to.
We can talk wrestling. I don't want to talk wrestling. We can. I just what I wanted to say is you have given me. Is this possible? And my gut feeling had been no. And then through discussion, that gut feeling made me go, oh, maybe, or sure, possibly. And if those are wins for you, I'm glad.
Hey, you brought up the crows. I didn't.
No, I know.
I'm
just saying that you I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We've only had one real factual, like occurable discussion that wasn't completely theoretical or like in the mind's, theater. Everything has been, well, could this have happened? Or what if this? And those arguments are flexible because it's not something we
Even
can
the
point
nuclear
to.
one?
Correct, because we aren't doing it. Where's go show me the nuclear reactor in the closet.
Do you want me to? Because
Yeah.
I'll show them too.
No, that closet is not to be seen by human eyes. I have to get the imperceivable demon underneath the fridge to open that closet. But no, the what I'm saying is here's the thing. So if we wipe all of those off, your record is still one. You're like one of one. You got the Nexus Cena debate. You won. You're winning. I agree. I'm just saying.
You see how he's downplaying?
I'm not right downplaying.
He's like, you might have won them, but did you really win?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like, no. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, in these theories, I could still be proven right.
How
you
so?
Don't know as equally as I don't.
Let's start a crow ring. See who gets arrested.
You know what? This is so great. We should start a crow ring to really make this an actionable thing. I regret this. Yeah, fuck it. You win. I don't want to do a crow ring. I don't want to do a crow ring out of spite. You son of a bitch. You're using my laziness against me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we could talk wrestling. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't have any of them.
You don't have any
questions. I didn't think wrestling was gonna happen today.
Okay, cool.
I got one.
Yeah.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
I'm going to take the duck-sized horses.
100 of them?
100.
That's crazy.
Are you ready for this? Horses are very fragile.
Okay.
And like on a good day, like regular horses, if they ruin one leg, they have to be put down. Fragile.
Yeah, but they're like
they're
this big.
Yeah, correct. What do I is it just me? Just mitts?
Yeah, just your dukes.
I want you to know I'm dying in both scenarios. Okay. I don't think I make it out either. But if I have to pick, it's 100 duck-sized horses because I trust my ability to kick these smaller horses than to fight the larger duck.
Okay. 2 horse-sized ducks or 1,000 duck-sized horses.
1,000's a big magnitude. 10 versus okay.
They probably weigh the same.
Mm-hmm.
Which good wings.
I was gonna say, I might go to that. I might move over to duck, the large duck.
2 of them?
2, simply because that is less.
Bro, I think I'm taking the duck.
The big duck.
Yeah.
The big duck over the 100 small horses.
Yeah.
Right, but then for 1,000, I'm not touching that.
I don't think in both scenarios. Ducks also have fragile feet.
I mean, yes, but like in that when you scale it up, what I'm saying is scaling something up.
I guess their leg would.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I'm saying. They're now a tree trunk, so I can't break that. But if you take given the proper like arm bar and leverage, could break a bone in a regular horse's leg and make it out of commission. So if we scale that down, I have to start leg sweeping these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Just
I don't know. You're just talking about the duck-sized horses?
the duck-sized horses.
I still think I could take the duck.
I agree that I want these giant wings, by the way. I want to start and end there. Hopefully you... Okay, so here's the deal. All right, you take the duck round 1, and I'll take the horses. And then we switch. Okay, so I'll take the 2 ducks. I have twice... Look at this burden I have. I have twice the burden you did last round. And then you can just do the horses. Just repeat what I did and succeeded. And just do that.
I also think I could win 1,000 duck-sized horses.
Really? You think you can win all 4? I think I die in all 4 of these scenarios.
I think 2 ducks? I don't think I can take 2
I
ducks.
really want to go 2 ducks so that I could try to mount one and use it against the other. To battle!
I just
mean a large
imagine
duck.
you holding a duck
around the neck. It's going wah, like roaring. What would a quack sound like? But like no, but like but yeah, and slower and reverbier, bassier.
Yeah.
Quah.
What's something you tried to make look easy but actually completely failed at, besides explaining and winning arguments? Especially the Nexus one.
I can just unschedule it. There's still a few hours. It could be a non-canon episode.
You should definitely check out the new episode that drops at 9 a.m. on our YouTube channel, Nerd Nexus Podcast.
They're currently watching. Are you plugging the next Nerd Nexus podcast to the Nerd Nexus podcast?
Yeah, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Hey, look, no shame in my game.
Yeah, no, it's all hustle. I hear you. No. Something I tried to make look easy and failed.
Completely failed.
Adulthood.
Okay. Elaborate.
I was thrown into adulthood young. I'm like, this isn't a problem. And I know everyone's like, oh, thrown into adulthood young is such a wild phrase, but I was emancipated at 14. So what I mean is that like I was actually thrown into adulthood young.
Right.
That shit is hard. That shit got hands. And for years I acted like it didn't bother me or affect me. And it did. I was not ready for that transition. And it has definitely affected me. But I am better now. And I'm in a better spot now. And I've got it down a little bit better now. And you know, for those who knew me, I mean, hell, you can speak to this. Like, not 5 years ago, I was literally crying in your front yard because I didn't know where I was going to go. Not like sobbing, but I was tearful. When you told me you would move in with me, it's fucking saved my ass, my life. So, like, I couldn't drive until like a little over 4 years ago. And I've been an adult since 14.
What do they do with people that are emancipated young but aren't the legal age to drive? You just can't drive.
You actually you can get your... I could have gotten it earlier if I wasn't epileptic. Isn't that crazy?
They would just let you drive at 15?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you're legal.
If you were I mean, from what I understand, the only thing that doesn't change is like substances. I still would have to wait until I'm 21. I wouldn't have to wait like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Usually adults would have to wait 3 years to start doing substances. I would still have to wait until a person who was emancipated would still have to wait until they were 21. I can pull up the emancipation papers at some point. We can go through them because there was like a pamphlet that I still have, a booklet rather. It was like stapled. But Yeah, no, I really tried to play it off like it wasn't a big deal, and that like that wasn't going to be the hardest challenge I faced, and I'm still facing repercussions from it. You know,
Right.
like emotional and like I don't want to say spiritual, but I'll just say family. Like I have very high family strain, like no shit. But it's like I'm having to learn so much because I didn't have a father or a mother for a little bit.
Right.
And then I was supposed to know what to do that early, and I didn't. I was going off of I love my father and I love my mother. The adults in my life were flawed. So I was trying to model myself off of an idealized version of an already flawed. I know everyone's flawed, right?
Right.
But I'm autistic, Cody. You know what I'm saying? Like worse than I am now. So I was unwilling to cut myself any breaks and expected perfection from myself and tried to make it look cool and easy when it was literally the hardest thing I've ever done. And once I kind of gave that up, let go, the peace I had.
What was your first job?
My first ever job,
Like the
like
first when
official
after you
job,
got emancipated, what was your first job? What was the first thing you did to make money?
mod consoles in high school. I would repair and mod Xbox 360s that broke. Like they'd get the red ring, and I would go in with a soldering gun, or not a soldering gun. It was a heat gun and a Dremel, and I would resize the shell, and I would try my best. I would explain to them the process that was like, look, this is likely not reversible, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and you are paying me for the labor of giving it a shot. That's going to be cheaper than paying for an Xbox. That's your prerogative. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, is what I would do. But yeah, like I would. When I say mod, I mean like put lights on, not like I still don't know software.
Right.
To this day, I don't know software, but I mean like, oh, you want this glowing fan instead of that fan that's in it. Cool, I can do that. Or stuff like that. For a little bit there, genuinely, uh, and there's actually a few people out there. I don't know. Make yourself known. Where I had a small business where I would. You probably knew this. This was when we were in high school. I made a lot of my personal income making custom Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You didn't know about this, so I would make like Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were like whatever you wanted them to be, but I would print them in high quality and I would get them sealed or like not sealed. I would get them like coat. It was a really high quality card stock that was glossy, like the cards, and I would print front and back, cut it out, and kind of sell it. It was really dumb and primitive is for lack of a better term, but for high schoolers, it's like, are you kidding me, dude? I've got this John Cena Yu-Gi-Oh card. This is so cool. And so the thing is I would be like, all right, it's $20 minimum, and then it's $1 a card.
What?
So $20. So I can do 20 cards for you at minimum,
Mm-hmm.
and then so if you give me $20, I can do 20 cards for you. But and then it's $1 a card after that. So it's like if you want a full deck, you have to pay me $40. And then it's like because that's me going into an editing. It was a lot of time. That's the thing is I had a surplus of time. So that's how I made my money. I would do the things that people wanted done but maybe didn't want to do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, me, I did lands. I did so much during this period. I was a referee in ice hockey. I was a landscaper. I was a gopher for a while for a remodeling company, but the boss was kind of like insane. I don't mean like in a bad way, but in like Like he was really about the job kind of way, and not in a way that it's like, hey, it's a job, everybody clock in, but like, we're the remodelers. So that means we typically would do it. We would either do demolition, maybe a little bit of cement work sometimes, really, was kind of what our actual curtail was. But if we go to the job site 3 days in a row and the brick masons are late and they haven't, he's calling up the job manager. And guess what? We're brick masons to that day because he's going to be there telling his men how to do this. He knows how to do everything.
Right.
And so that's kind of what happened to me. I originally got this job thinking I was going to run things for people, go do things. By the end of it, I'm learning how to fucking set up string lines to make sure that this brick doesn't, sag or set while this guy's up on the ladder. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm in over my head, but I learned a lot about the world. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's the thing is like I'm well traveled, I think, job wise. Like I've worked a lot of fast food as well.
Where did you work before this last place that you worked for a long time?
Um, the restaurant.
What about before? So let me ask you this. So there was a period, in case, well, I know you guys don't know this. There was a period where me and you were friends in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, where we didn't talk.
Yeah. What did I do during then?
Yes. And you don't have to say where
Yeah,
or
yeah.
what,
Well,
just
I mean,
like an
I can.
occupation.
That's when I did most of my fast food. That's when I did McDonald's. That's when I did. Oh man, I cannot even remember everywhere I worked. Mostly McDonald's. I worked with McDonald's for a year plus, almost 2 years.
What'd you do?
I was just line cook. I was just kind of like, hey, wait, let me make sure. I'm sorry, let me lock in. You're telling me I can get paid to come here, cook, which I like to do, and get free food? And the
So
vibes were immaculate. Immaculate. I loved my McDonald's. Um, Depending on what time of day you worked, the crew was completely different, right? I know, but that thing is it's like it could be kind of fluctuant. I went everywhere else I kind of went to, you would see the same people on different shifts. Everyone was kind of mixed matched and everything. Not that this McDonald's, bro. The morning crew was morning crew. The midday crew was midday crew. The closing crew was closing crew. And they didn't really talk to each other or associate. It was interesting. The only person who would bounce around was me because I was like, I will work whenever, however, you just got to get me there. I live 5 minutes up the road and you have a car, Mr. Manager, and I am willing to work whenever. So if you are having a bind and you need a problem, if you need, you need somebody to come in, you can come knock. Because I didn't have a phone. That's why we didn't talk. I couldn't afford a phone.
yeah.
So I was trying to pay my bills on couch surfing at a community church home. This was a church home with responsibilities, though. It was kind of like a situation where they were like, you can pay, you don't have to. And I tried my best to kind of go as far as I could without paying. Just because, it was like, I hate to be that guy. I was a younger person and I was going through a lot and I felt like I was owed this freebie because I had a house taken away from me while I was young. And it was like, well, you know what? Here's the dunk I've been looking for. Finally. Essentially, something came up my way and I was like, finally. To this day, I still kind of like feel bad because like I would contribute, I would cook, I would clean, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like a hindrance. It
Right.
was just like I probably could have pitched in a little bit more and I regret not doing so. But yeah, I was in like when I say a church community home, I don't mean like at the back of a church there was a house we all lived in. I mean, there was the father of our church, I want to say group, because it wasn't even the church. We just met at a church. He had his house and he was an empty nester, but he also used to be a pastor and essentially was like, look, he told his son, if there's ever someone who's like about to be on the streets, they can come here. And that's where I was. Because here's the thing. What really like pushed me out of because like I left both and then kind of landed back with my mother, right? And what really made
Was
me,
this before? This was after I met you.
I was with my mother when we met. I
Right.
I landed back with my mom when
This
we
so
met.
this was before I met you then.
What?
McDonald's and
Mm-mm, mm-mm. This is after high school.
oh
I'm just taking it back so that I can say this. The reason why I left, my mom provided me a roof and didn't really charge me rent per se. I had money and she'd be like, "Hey man, this is coming up and I don't have it." And
right.
I would occasionally be like in those situations, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But my mom wouldn't call that a lot. What my final straw, my mom is a different person and I'm very proud of her progress. I want to start there. Same with my dad. We have a great relationship, my mom and my dad and I. So I want to say I'm very proud of the changes that they made in their life to, be someone that I can associate with now. I just want to start there. But my mom was a very different person, and she would agree that she was a very different person. But what really actually like killed it for me is we had to couch surf, both of us, with my to my cousin's house, and my cousin had an apartment. Rather, I'm sorry, an apartment. We were couch surfing there, so I was expected to sleep on the couch, and she was expected to sleep on the other couch. And I was like, "Yo, okay, I guess I can do this. I guess." I was like, "All right, let's whatever." Mom made the decision. It's what it is. And then it's like about 2 or 3 days in, it was like starting to affect literally the entire family somehow. Literally, like it would be like, "Hey," I'd call my cousin and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm trying to go to the pool. Our AC is out. Just hop the fence. No one will care." Cool. Because they couldn't leave work and bring me the pool key, which was in on their person.
Right.
So they were like, just hop the fence. We're like, find a group of people to go in with. They're not going to matter. Realistically, you could probably explain what's happening, and they would love to let you in. That, hey, I'm a person. I'm someone at the house. I don't have my key, or I have my room key, but I don't have the pool key, and the AC's broken.
Right.
Most people would probably go, yeah, come on. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happened. But my mother blew it up into this thing where you did not have permission to leave the house. You did not have permission to go to the pool, blah, 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 blah. You were on reprimand, you were XYZ, and you were 1, 2, 3. And I was like, it was completely insufferable in the house because the AC was broken. And she genuinely expected me to stay in there and just die, I guess. And because I was like in trouble or whatever. I don't even remember what the thing that got me in trouble was. But I said, this is it. I literally was like, that was my final straw. And jokes on me, because I did go back to my mom again. And this was the shed. I say the shed, but it was, those Home Depot things out in the front of Home Depot, those giant barns that
Yeah.
people turn. So they were going to convert that into a tiny home. And I was like, cool. And they were like, you can live in there. And I'm like, great. What I didn't know when they pitched the idea to me was that they hadn't started on the conversion yet.
So it was just a
It
shed.
was just a shed with a bed in it and a wall unit, a wall AC unit. That was not the right VPU.
What's that mean?
Uh, it's the thing that means like if your room is this size, you need a bigger machine. It was for a much smaller room because it was like they were, it was going to be a whole mini house, and it was just this one wall unit. So when I arose and went to sleep with the sun, because the second the sun was out, I got out of the house and got in my truck and went and did something because if I wasn't, I was cooking.
Right.
If you ever caught those original Pokemon streams I did, I was sweating.
We lived together when you did it.
I mean, earlier than that.
No.
Yeah, so it's okay.
No, we lived together.
I did do those for that long. That's how long the period was. No. You're right. I started them then, and then this is where I went after. After we split up, this is where I went to the shed. So I'm sorry, I continued those.
Which we split up. We moved away only because, if I'm not mistaken, they tried to raise our rent like $500.
It was ridiculous. We probably could have made it work. I don't know if we'd be in a better place.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. But what I want you to know that, one, there's no animosity.
Right.
Right. And, but the thing is that, like, so those I guess later streams, if you caught any of those where I was streaming from my mother's place, I was dying, bro. You thought I was drinking water now? Mm-mm. That's also why they would be like shorter. No, they also weren't. I forgot I would play through the whole Pokemon game. I played through one of every Pokemon game. That was when I did the chronological playthrough. You remember? I was like, okay, if you didn't know, the Pokemon games don't occur in chronological order.
Right.
So, anyways, blah blah blah. But no, I mean the thing is like I toughed it out. It wasn't like torturous.
How long did you stay there?
2 months.
That's
Not long.
Terrible.
Not long. And that's when I got the place that we're currently at. I went to a family reunion with
a friend of ours.
And well, I can say her first name, Patty. Patty had a big housewarming because they got a new house. And that's when I met Chris. And Chris was like, hey, I got this spot. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll take it. And I said, I have one condition. He's like, what? And I said, I need a wall unit. And he goes, okay, well, that'll be fine, because Patrick was here. Chris was there. And that was like the kids' room at the time. And he was like, okay. He's like, we're technically not allowed to have window units, but if it's in the back, I don't think anyone's going to care. And it has been there ever since. So that's why my room is tremendously well air conditioned, because I lost that for 2 or 3 months, and I was like, I'm not losing this again. Also, it was in the backyard of my grandmother's place, and the only reason why it really all worked out is because of my grandmother's mercy. My mom was like sleeping in the house with my grandma to help her, and so I got the shed because she was already, taking up reasons, essentially, is what I got given. And I was like, fine, a roof's a roof at this point. But my grandma also raised chickens. So when I say, oh, I rose with the sun, I really mean the second there was a single photon over that hill, all of the crows started going, or all the chickens started, because like even there wasn't a rooster, they still like get lively.
Right.
And they were right there in the backyard. And so I was like, okay. So I would just drive, for real. I would just drive around.
I say we didn't hang out at all.
Not at all. I would just drive, go do something. Like I would literally be like, okay, let's see, any events today in the city? Okay, cool. There's gonna be like a like a movie thing where they do the like movie night. I'll go to that, whatever, but bad example because that's at night. But I would go. I was so involved in the community. Like we're having a community cleanup day, and I'd be like, great, let's do it. I also was working, but like I tried to spend as much of my free time outside of the house so that I could come back. I believe the time that I decided was like 9 p.m. It had cooled off enough for me to go to sleep.
I bet you left that air thing blasting
The
all
whole
day.
you'd think, but if you left it running the whole time, it would actually become less efficient over time. So I only plugged it in right when I got home
Hmm.
because it wasn't built for the room. So I had it on at night.
Was it
Because,
insulated?
yes,
The whole place is insulated?
correct.
So they had like hung drywall and stuff?
Um, okay, let me not that type of insulated, but it was the kind where the shed's like, oh yeah, it's insulated, and there's like a thin membrane between the two woods or whatever. You'll have to talk to somebody who knows better, but essentially the wood would have a thermal thing in it that prevented it. So the thing is like it would also get hot at night because I was generating, heat. And it was a locked box that had the would the wood had the foil shit on it.
That's not insulation.
What is that?
That's to seal it from the outside.
Right, but okay.
That's like Tyvek.
No, 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 no. So I don't remember what it was called. My mother was dating a man named Fred at the time. Fred did all of the interior design of the place and put it together. So like kudos to him. Want to say that. But the insulation, no, it wasn't. I'm tripping. This was at the tail end. And
Could you see the 2x4s?
no. You yes. Yeah, yeah. No,
It
so
was not
it was
insulated.
not insulated. But the shit would get hot. It would like
Well, yeah, it
seal
wasn't
in the
insulated.
heat, bro. It was awful. I was tripping. No, at the tail end it was insulated, but it also hurt my case essentially. He put up that the insulation they chose to use was that like sheet insulation that was like adhesive that you would apply and it would just like stick to the wall and
It
it
had
had
the
the
Pink Panther on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that stuff sucks.
Yeah, it was enough to really start cooking at night sometimes. So I conflated that wasn't the whole time. So that's my bad. But yeah, that's what I did. So but yeah, sorry about my whole job history. I didn't mean to do that
No,
divulgence.
I've worked at too many places to go into.
No, valid. I think the one that like is funny to me is that refereeing ice hockey I didn't take seriously. Let me put it that way. I tried to invest serious time and like practice and like I learned the rules and I could pass the test and it was all fine and dandy. But then like I don't know, my job was skating with children and trying to be like, no, you are an 8-year old. You do not need to be punching this other 8-year old. I was in child care essentially is what became of my job. So I didn't take it seriously. If I took it seriously, realize looking back now, I didn't know that like you could grow as a referee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just didn't know. I was like, oh, cool, I'm a ref, and they put me here. So I was just like, this is dumb, and I don't really like children. I just don't need to be doing this.
I guess your life story. Cody did go to Japan for Pokemon Worlds. That's a thing.
That was awesome. The dude, I ever tell you the swine flu story?
You were the first one to get the
Or
swine flu.
one of the first, not the first, but one of the first. I told you about this. Okay, I mean, I'll
Go
just
ahead.
to yeah. I guess we're going into my life a little bit. What I can remember of it, guys. I sure wish I wrote it down while I could remember. You know what I'm saying? God, what an idiot I am to think no one would want to hear my story, huh? But I was in Boy Scouts at the time, and this is the slim connection during those strained years that me and my dad had. Regardless of what I thought of the church and regardless of what I thought of him, I made damn sure I was going to Scouts. You know what I'm saying? And so it's funny But that those would be some of the only times me and him would still kind of relink.
Right.
It's like, okay, it is easier for us to go, yes, that's my son, and I'm the scoutmaster, and that'll just be what it is. We don't have to hang out all day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this was something that was a priority to me and that was important to him. And so um, it really helped us. I will say it was some of the best bonding we did ever have. But we went up to Camp Daniel Boone in North Carolina, and this was before the swine flu like was discussed or talked about or anything. Then it struck, and like when it happened, we were one of the first people to get it somehow. I don't remember exactly what happened, but essentially Camp Daniel Boone has a lot of military visitors, from what I understand. And because of that, one of them brought it to us, and then we got infected in some sort of way. So here's what happens is they quarantine us at the quarantine hut, essentially. I don't remember like anything because my temperature didn't drop below like a certain threshold. I don't remember being, I was in that quarantine hut for weeks, and I don't remember but like three things because my brain was constantly boiling, essentially, from my fever. I remember we were all going to watch a movie, and everybody had voted on X-Men, and I was like, "Oh, sweet X-Men!" And then, um, someone was like, uh, someone was like, "We can't watch this because we're here with the church, and this goes against certain church things." And I remember going, "Shut up and enjoy a really cool movie that you won't get to see at home." And then they went, "Okay." And I remember thinking it was very funny. But like the way they were like, you can't do this. This goes against what we believe in and all this other stuff. And I went, "I'm gonna go watch X-Men, and I bet it's gonna be tight." Essentially. And they were like,
Were you into that shit before that?
"Yeah, yeah, I was." But no, I just remember it being very funny. But I made a recovery, and I eventually got able to, it's so crazy that they just kept me in that hut, right? That's bananas that they didn't like medivac us. But I guess because it was such a like epidemic, what would you do?
I mean, had it spread to the rest of like,
The camp, the camp, from what I understand, was evacuated.
oh my.
Yeah. So that was also crazy. Walking this massive scout camp completely barren.
And then it outbroke to the rest of.
Well, I say one of the first because there were people infected before us, but we were one of the first groups of people, is what I mean to say. So not like, oh, we were the first. Camp Daniel Boone was, patient zero. That's not what I'm saying. It's like there, we were one of the first people. The thing is like the reason why they put us in a hut is because they didn't know about the swine flu. They didn't know what the swine flu was.
Right.
No one had told them about the swine flu. They just thought the scouts were getting sick. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. And so they had the parameters and they did that. But it was like a scary prospect. Do you know how crazy it is? Like I have a bad memory, but like, do you know how crazy it is that I just blacked out for weeks? I was on the like ropes, bro.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude, I was like almost out. Like my only other memory was, and this was at a time when I wasn't religious. But my father, they asked to pray over me, and I remember like that prayer. I remember not being able to stand, and I remember being so tired, and I remember being so like I was sweating, and I remember being so sick, like so sick. Sorry, this just touches me. I couldn't stand, and every one of the Boy Scouts helped kind of hold me up. For they do something called a blessing, I couldn't even sit in a chair right. They literally, every one of them held me, and they all laid hands on me. And I remember that moment was one of the first moments where I really connected with the Lord,
Right.
because in that moment I was surrounded by these people who genuinely care about me, and I was near death. And I remember going, I couldn't say much, I couldn't think, and I just remember in the middle of prayer, you know what I'm saying? They're talking and doing their prayer. And I remember the only word I could get out was help. And I just remember all at once this wind blows through, and that I was so hot and I was so sweating, I fall asleep. Just in that moment, I just like nod off. And they tell me about how I go there and how I got put in the thing. It wasn't until I really like started feeling better and we all pulled through. Some of the scouts didn't make that.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, no one I knew perished, but people perished.
In the camp?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So the thing is like that is probably the closest to death I've ever gotten, because I like low key went into a coma.
Oh, really?
Like I guess I really don't know. It kind of bothers me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just, but it's like I remember being up and around for like movie night. So like, who's to know?
Hmm.
Yeah, I got crazy, crazy stories, man.
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
and as unsympathetic as this is, I definitely thought you were gonna say, when I was thinking and I could only think of one word, X-Men.
Lol.
I
Lol.
was
No,
prepared for the pop,
this
bro.
was before they took me to the quarantine. This was when I was just like, Cody's Cody's not helping. Cody's not. I was like quartermaster, which means I needed to make sure that everybody had their supplies. I needed to make sure it was offloaded off the trailer. You know what I'm saying? I was the guy, and I was on it. I was doing the job. I was doing it well. So when I was like sleeping and they couldn't shake me awake, you know, like my father had to come in there and physically lift me out of the bed to wake me up. They had to, like, in the movies, they splashed me with water to bring me awake.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like not good.
I I don't know. I don't really me myself. I don't really have nothing too crazy. I think that really happened in my
Mike's
life.
on the hat.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, sorry. I just
Um, I don't really have anything like my first job. I worked at an academy sports.
oh, you told me about that.
I was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
Set no. Well, I was like 18. I
Mm-hmm.
guess the first. I mean, I never. The first official job I had was that.
Mm-hmm. But you were like me. You were doing side hustles, like
Um, yeah. I mean, I did the normal shit. I
yeah,
mean, I cut grass.
right. Oh, I did
Um,
that too. Let me not lie. That would technically be my first. I got one of the first gifts I got given for like one of my birthdays. Like my only gift I got given for one of my birthdays one year was a lawnmower, because my mom was like, this was like right before the emancipation. My mom thought she was funny, and she was like, I bought a lawnmower for the house because we needed one, and I guess I don't have a gift for you, so I'm just going to pose this up like a gift, and now it's your responsibility. This is my way of introducing you to the fact that you are responsible for mowing the lawn. And then I said, bet, and then started making money with it. And she would be like, what are you doing? I bought a bike chain, and a um I bought a, what are those clamps called? What do you, a choke? Is that the choke that you when you, is that's a throttle, isn't it? I had a throttle lock that prevented anyone from using my fucking lawnmower, because I was like, Oh, on God, it's my lawnmower. Thank you so much. I love this lawnmower. Thank you for my lawnmower, which is my birthday present, my lawnmower. Bike chained that shit. Throttle locked it. Basically, what I did was I got a wooden board and I carved out a rut for the throttle bar.
Right.
And then I carved out a perfect thing, a negative again on the other side, and then I just bike locked it together.
So that you
They couldn't start it. My mom was pissed.
That's funny.
Isn't that great? That's one of my I don't think about that story a lot, but like, wow. I got her ass.
I went from Academy Sports to an Ace Hardware where I worked in a lumber yard.
Mm.
And I went from that to a cabinet shop.
Right.
And I worked at a cabinet shop for
years, right? Like 2 or 3?
I worked there for a long time. Long time. This was back when like making $10 an hour was good money.
You were moving. Yeah. You were above minimum, bro.
I worked with everybody. I mean, dude, there was people in there that were doing all kind. I mean, they were smoking pot.
Sure.
And drinking all the time. There's no telling. We would just, the boss would bring in cases of beer on Saturdays if we had to work.
What?
I was like 18, 19.
That's so tight.
It was a good time. And then from there, I think I went to a place building like trusses for houses.
Right.
That
you did the trusses. I thought you left the plastic manufacturing place for the truss place.
That was later. That was another one.
Oh, you went back to a truss place. Okay, interesting. My bad.
You talking about the one where we lived together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
No, okay. My bad.
I went from the truss place to shit. I went from a truss place to Ohio. I lived in Ohio for 6 months.
I remember you did tell me this, yeah.
And then when I came back, I was like 19, 20. I might have went back to the cabinet shop, and at one point, then I worked at.
You did.
Yeah, and then I worked at another lumber yard.
Oh, that's right.
Out in East Bumblefuck, and then there for a while. I was self-employed.
Right. Yep. I get you.
And then that abruptly stopped.
Through intervention.
Yeah, they were blue.
And red.
And red.
There were berries and cherries, from what I've heard.
Yeah. And that's when I started at the plastic place.
Right.
When I started at the plastic place, I think I was making like $11.50 as a forklift driver.
Bro, inflation's so bad.
Dude, it's terrible.
It is so bad. Dude, the way I am was making like over 20 and barely making it by when we were living off of $10 an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Well, by then.
Oh, you also had the OT though.
Well, yeah, but you don't remember this. So I went from $11.50 to $13.75, and then we moved in together. You don't remember the fucking big to do I made about the fact that they wanted to give me a raise to 15?
Yeah,
they bumped me from $13.75 to $15 an hour, and
Money.
I was pissed, chat, because I was then now being pushed into
a new tax bracket. Yeah, I remember.
I was pissed, but I was working at $13.75. I was working.
Can you decline a raise?
I mean, you can.
Man, that's goofy.
But it so um I went from so at 13.75 an hour, I was working uh like 100. I think the most you can legally work in the state of Georgia is like 109 hours a week, and I
Mm-hmm.
was maxing that.
Right. I remember that.
Um, I didn't have anything to do,
Right.
so and then uh, I got pushed to 15, became a manager, um, and then I was still working because when I got pushed into a tax bracket for easy numbers, let's say I got paid $800 a week at 13, and that's what I brought home.
Right.
When I got pushed to 15, I was now bringing home like 725 a week, and that's not that much, but at the end of the month, that's $300.
Right.
So, I was working more. So I thought, I'm 15, I can work less and make $800. Well, then I've realized that I could work 100 and make 1,000 or 900 or as close as I could get to 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, and then that's when we moved in together, which was roughly in that time frame. Um, after I worked, then I started doing installing cat. No, I worked at a stair place for a while when we lived there too.
Stairs. That's
I
what it
was
was.
installing like staircases and shit. Um, and then after that, I went to installing cabinets. And then after that, I did directional drilling. Funnest
Interesting.
job I've ever had.
What is that?
So, have you ever seen those machines on the side of the road where they're huge and there's a guy sitting in a little chair and they got the little tracks?
Sure.
Yes or no?
Like a like a no. I can't visualize it.
So,
What do I look up?
look up a directional boring machine.
Cool. Directional boring machine. That's you. Okay. Yeah, I have seen these.
That's what I did. I was the shovel guy.
Oh, cool.
It was like the best job. So like it was at first it was me. No, it was the owner, which was on site.
Oh, is this
This
the
was
one where you would travel?
Yeah. So this it was me and it was the owner. There was another guy. It was a guy named Jay,
Mm-hmm.
a guy named Keith, and then there was me. Well, then Jay quit or got fired. I don't remember. And then Keith quit, and then it was just me and the boss, like 4 months in, maybe 5 months, and that's when we started traveling because we were working off of Bankhead Highway in Atlanta. Yeah. So we packed and the company that we were working for like fucked over the boss, my boss. So like we packed our shit up, got all our trucks out, and left.
I
Because
remember.
we were contracted through another company,
Yeah.
and that's when we started working in Athens, and then that something happened. I think we finished that, and then we ended up going to Sarasota, Florida, and that's where it all ended.
I'm looking at these machines. These are so cool. They're so diverse.
Yeah, there's small ones and big ones.
That's so crazy. There's like ones that have like logging attachments.
What are you talking about?
Like it seems to be like there's one with like a saw.
Let me see.
Oh no, I'm wrong.
Let me see.
I thought that was like a
I
big
can't see.
chainsaw. I thought that was like a big chainsaw, but that was like that's my bad.
No, that's the hydraulic cables.
Yeah. I like they definitely can't get kinked cables.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, what that does is it sends those rods.
Hmm.
They don't look that big.
They're huge.
They're like 9 or
I
10
see the
foot.
truck. Yeah.
So the rods that are in the side of that thing.
Mhm.
Um, it basically there's a
Spins them?
well, so they on each side there's a male piece and a female on
Oh,
each side of the
interesting.
rod, and what it does is that there's the basket and there's controls, and so I don't remember which buttons do which and whatever, but that doesn't matter. Um, what happens is you have a head that looks like a spoon.
Okay.
So if my arm was it looks like this, and it's got like little teeth on it
Mm.
that as you go, and then there's a locator. There's a locator in the rod
Right,
that's
so
the
they know
head,
where it is, yeah.
and then you have a little box that's a locator, and so the thing it works on a clock, right?
Mhm.
So what it does is it spins and it bores out a hole. I can't spin
Mm.
my hand
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
way
yeah,
around,
yeah, yeah, but
but
it's
it bores
rotating.
a hole, and then you poke through at the other side. You take that off, and then you
Mm.
put on a ream, what we call a reamer, which was just a fucking a hollowed out hunk of metal that we fucking took teeth and welded it to,
Mm.
and then
I was about to say, okay.
you spin it and pull it back through, and then push and then pull it back through to basically bore out the hole.
Mhm. Right.
And as you're doing it with this reamer, you have this reamer tied up and attached to conduit
Okay.
that pulls the fucking wire back through. So basically your rods are like a fish tape. You know what a fish tape is? You know the thing when you cut a hole in the wall up there and you stick it through the wall and pull it out right here,
Yes, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
you fucking tie your
Yep,
wire to it.
yep.
That's fish tape.
Okay,
The
understood.
fucking long thing with the hook on
Yeah,
the end that
essentially
loops
that's
in a
how it would
circle,
function.
and you take the circle and you to fucking reel it back
Interesting.
in.
That's so practical.
Yeah.
You know, like the way that I thought that this would be way more complicated.
No, so those conduits are for like fiber lines. Like I ran all the fiber lines in you know where the Hobby Lobby is in Athens.
Yes, I was used to work right there.
Yeah. Um, that stretch of road, I did all the fiber lines.
Cool.
Um,
How did we reconnect? We just kind of started talking one day.
um,
We just said, "Fuck it, we're friends again."
we were never not friends.
Right.
But I don't remember.
I just think we would talk throughout, and then that frequency increased. Is what happened. I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I no, I remember whatever. I don't think you wanted. You didn't have you didn't have the truck yet.
I got the truck right at the end of us moving out. Literally the last day of our lease, I got the truck.
Oh
Remember you were like, "Nice truck," and you leaned on it like you would a regular truck, and then you cracked my entire rain shield.
no,
I know. I remember because I still am getting wet. It's okay, not a big deal. Oh, are we dead?
yeah, we're about to die.
Oh, well, we may have found the limit.
Um,
Enough
is
of
yours dead?
no. How do you know it's yours is almost dead?
Blinking red on the battery. Hold on.
Okay, well, let me observe. No blink.
No, I'll let you know when it goes out.
Cool.
But
So we're going for time.
yeah, so at the end of the day, I did that, and then I moved to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I did cabinets for a little bit, and then I moved to Ohio, and I was custom building cabinets. I was remodeling houses. I was building additions, and then we moved back here so I could start my own business. And I was, and that's when I started my social media journey. Was up there.
Nice.
Was trying to start streaming. I started streaming because me and my buddy decided we were gonna play
Nice.
Destiny 2 or whatever.
That is how it's. Yeah, I remember.
And
I'd pop in occasionally. I just wish I cared more about Destiny.
well, we just didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea.
Wait, really? Y'all just said fuck it, Destiny one day?
Yep.
Oh shit! All right.
It's free on Steam, so we just decided to play it.
Well,
We
all
both
right
had
then.
the game and we decided to play it, and like we had no fucking clue what it was. We played. I did the whole playthrough of the
And you
first.
still don't know what's happening?
I did. Yeah, we played, and then we got to the part where it's like you can now do like missions and raids and shit. And then we got to the point where like we couldn't beat something. And we were
And
just
he was
like,
like, okay.
this is dumb. Like it just like I
Yeah,
get
no,
it.
I don't understand looter shooters that are like online service grindy.
Well, it just didn't make sense. The game to me, and I know there's people out there that love that game, but to me, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not like a
People who love Destiny 2 are so funny. If I can just grill them I'll take the heat. Um, I think it's so funny because the entire fan base said, we hate this game at launch. Destiny 2 is bad. This game is very bad. And then they went, okay, so we're going to try to fix that, they being EA. We're going to try to do better. 2, 2K maybe? EA or 2K, one of the people that was above the project. I
mm,
want to say EA or 2K, one of the two. They were like, it was Activision. Activision was above it. And they were like, well, okay, we're going to try to fix this. And then at this time, Bungie was looking for like kind of a way out, essentially. And they were like, oh, this game's only bad because we were told what to do by Activision. Like, oh my gosh, this is so bad because they told us what to do. And that's why all of these things that you don't like is because they told us to do otherwise. This was our original pitch. And they showed like the original pitch was like free and oh my gosh, this is going to be so good and free expansions and like this is grand thing, right? And it's like me, who's someone who's in video game industries, I understand that all the pitches are grand. That's how you get a bite. So I understand that they're going like, look at the pitch, and then Activision said yes, but then they said no. I just understood that's all video games,
right,
right? I know this, but the people who like Destiny go, hey, you guys need to let go of this, you need to let Bungie out of your contract. And then they were kind of blaming it all on Activision. The fan base was going, we hate Activision. This is bad now because of Activision decisions. And then Activision just kind of went, this isn't worth the headache. You guys are not making us money. We were going to put more money in to help you fix your game. Fine. Have your game. You're out of the contract, whatever. Do whatever you want. And then I was like, okay, cool. Maybe Destiny 2 will become a game I care about. This sounds good. I doubt it. I feel like they're going to try to absolutely leverage the people that they just rallied. And sure enough, I was like, I know it's free now. How many paid DLCs did we go through? A lot. They're all free now, but after you bought the game, they gave you paid DLCs because they promised you the game would have free DLCs at some point. But those free DLCs only came out once the game was made free. And I'm just like, okay. So, to track the logic of the average Destiny player, we hate this game. Oh, this game is only bad because of Activision. If Bungie had control, this game would be good. Bungie gains control. The game didn't change. 4 years. Years. It was the same. And then they went, well, we're done, so it's free now. And when you died? Such is destiny. Here, we'll pass it back and forth for the sign off.
well, that's how I started my streaming journey. I went from Destiny, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna play Call of Duty. And then so I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
You played that at the house.
No, that was Modern Warfare.
Oh, you're right.
I played Modern Warfare 2. I streamed a lot of Warzone. Uh, and then yeah, I play. Then I had a buddy of mine that I'm still friends with now that plays Fortnite. had a bunch of viewers in his chat one day in TikTok, and had to just went live on TikTok like 2-3 days before, and he was like, "Hey, go! I know this guy. Go over there." And so like there was like 100 people, maybe 150 that just popped in. It was like, yo, got my likes to like 150K. It was crazy. It's me, dumb person playing Call of Duty that had like one viewer for months.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I had 150 people. I didn't know how to act. I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then I had a bigger streamer on Twitch that rated me with like 80 viewers or 100 viewers. It was pretty cool. I've, and it was because earlier in the night we were playing Search and Destroy, and so in Call of Duty, I don't know if any of you guys play Call of Duty, but and when you're in Search and Destroy, between each round, you can hear and talk to the other team. Well, I joined this match late. Like it's already like round 2 or 3, which if you know Call of Duty, round 2 or 3, you're late. I'm playing with my buddy Joe and maybe somebody else. I don't remember. But um I joined, and this was like when I was like a gangster with sniper rifles in Modern Warfare 2, and just uh dogged. And this girl, that's her niche. She be sniping. And we're playing on Scrapyard, and who's that sniper, the one that keeps quick scoping me every fucking round, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, I spoke up, I was like, oh, that's me. And I went from bottom of the leaderboard to top of the leaderboard in like 2 rounds. I had killed like the whole team. And so later on, an hour or two later, I'm still streaming. She raids me with like 80 or 100 people. And she's like, hey, you whooped my ass and you were cool about it. Like, you didn't talk no shit. Like, so somebody said you were streaming. So I found you, what's up? And then hung out for, 20, 30 minutes. It was pretty cool. It was a good time. Um, I'm still friends with her on Call of Duty, and I still, to this day, if she's streaming and I join her stream and I say, what's up, she like knows who I am. She's like, oh, we need a rematch, and I'm like, no, Black Ops 6 is bad. So,
Imagine.
and then now I am getting a new job tomorrow, which is just a warehouse job until I start I mean, I'm like in the process and trying to get clients to start doing remodeling and cabinets and stuff like that down here. So that's what I'm doing. I don't think I had any crazy stories. The only crazy story I had possibly is the um oh well, there's the church story that we haven't told on the podcast. But
That'll be another podcast.
that's gonna be in part 2 because our mics are dead. But you guys will have to tune in next week for the church story, or we might make a TikTok out of it.
We should do that.
We should definitely like record it and do a TikTok out of it. But we'll have to tell it in. No, we should do it on the podcast.
You're right.
And then clip it and then put it on. Anyway, but you guys definitely tune in for that. My link tree will be down in the description. If you don't feel like looking that up, it's at Bath Toaster X_X on TikTok and RDA on Twitch. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And leave a comment below. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you watched the whole thing. Tell us if you just watched for 5 seconds just to give us a view. Either way, we appreciate it.
Okay, so in the comment section, if you got this far, okay, this is gonna be how we know. Okay, in the comment section, I want you guys to be vehemently defending that paper towels are important and do not need to go away from society. We didn't talk about that at all, but if you got to the end, Start an argument about how important paper towels are, and we'll know you're a real one. That's gonna be so funny.
Yeah, you need to tell you just that paper towels were the thing that withstood the younger dry ass impact theory, and that's the one thing that our civilization has gained from the ancients. It definitely, that's the only thing that is that passed. We found this rock that had a hole in it, and we just peeled off a piece, and all of the mud broke, and now we have paper towels. It was the greatest invention, literally next to sliced bread.
No. Oh, cool. I was gonna say you should do my plugs, but I'll do them. Hey, go ahead and follow me. It's legit Shadow 6, numerical 6, everywhere but Twitch, where I was an idiot and didn't change it to the number 6. You have to spell out SIX in there. But nah, this will be a good one. We'll see you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, we have the table back, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, guys. We'll see you.